Guys, welcome back to On the Nerds Live. We are joined by Brent Age of Grogu and professional
Hey,
Bad
guys.
Batch watcher and Boca Boba watcher by trade, Ben
Hey.
Gibbs.
Ben
How's it
Gibbs.
going,
What's
guys?
up, everybody? How you guys
Gibbs.
doing?
Hey, Gibbs.
Gibbs. What's up?
How you doing,
So
guys?
here we are talking about Mandalorian season 3. I've heard a lot of that going around the internet.
Yeah.
That's
Wow,
what it
a lot
is,
of-
baby. It's Mandalorian 2.5, man. Come on now.
Oh yeah, we are joined by Din Djarin himself. To
Yeah,
give
Din
us
Djarin.
his insight.
Yeah, Din
Yes.
Djarin. So, what's it like wielding the Darksaber? A special interview with Din.
Dude, it's not as easy as it looks. Not
Yeah?
Not as easy as it looks. That's what I'll say.
Hey, can you tell us what happens next
Might need
episode?
Luke to train you.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yes,
We'll
that'd
see.
be cool.
I got theories, but we'll see.
Whoa, it's Johnny!
Oh,
What?
the whole time.
No
Who
way.
would have guessed?
You are
Oh,
not
no way.
Mandalorian.
Yeah, you're not
No,
Mandalorian.
you gotta go to the
True.
rivers underneath the
You're out of all
mines or
the
something.
nerds.
Well, I'm not in that
Johnny's more
Cobra.
Spider-Man. Yeah, Johnny's more Spider-Man than Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What's up, Mug? Still
Hey,
definitely Mug and not Pug, who changed.
No, Pug?
Still
the
Mug.
name.
Even
Still
Mug
Mug.
is still going. I love it.
Mug
Mug is
I
still
love it.
going.
Uh, guys in the chat, tell us. We're gonna vibe for a bit while more people come in, but tell us what you thought about the episode. I want to know. I'm seeing a lot of just different. It seems like everyone seems to like this episode, but there's like
Just
I don't
kidding.
think there's any debate about that. I haven't seen
no,
it.
yeah,
No.
yeah.
I don't think is there anyone debating that it's a bad episode?
No, no one.
I hope not.
No,
Not
but it's
that I've
still
seen so far.
controversial and like in its.
I
just,
get the
Oh, yeah.
frustration with it being a Boba Fett episode, but
Mhm.
Yeah,
besides
yeah.
that,
It's
Yes.
The episode. That was like a great 50 minutes of television.
Oh, it was.
I don't think anyone
so
is
good.
debating that. It was
Yeah.
incredible.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
For me, the more I think about it, the more that I like that it was these first 4 episodes, which I've watched all as one, is like this flashback establishing where Boba is as a character. And this is this is a book of Boba Fett, and there's chapters. So these first 4 chapters are getting to where Boba
but
is.
doesn't it?
and then
doesn't it
and then
bother
there's a
you?
chapter, but then there's a chapter in this book that takes us on a different character. Like you're reading an actual book, they
should've
changed
just
the
continued it
protagonist.
from Mando.
Yeah.
I know,
Yeah.
but then we get a chapter about a character who's gonna tie into
Yeah.
our main character. Like to me,
That's true.
and like it's like a transition. So it's the first 4
Yeah.
build Boba, we get Din, the backstory with Din, and then the last 2 are going to be the finale of we have Boba now as he is. We have Din. We're gonna get all these characters, and it's gonna be the finale. Like I don't know. To me, it makes sense.
yeah. My
me,
main
It hurt.
concern.
Go ahead, Dylan.
My main concern kind of just comes from is there's still a lot we're expecting as fans from the Book of Boba Fett with Boba's story, and I think it can be wrapped up in these last 2 episodes. I just I don't know. I've grown bitter in my Star Wars fandom, and I do worry that it might get
Sad.
a little rushed in these last 2 episodes. But if it doesn't, then I will appreciate this.
I don't.
episode
I
even
don't
more.
think it'll fumble in the end. I don't think it
No,
will. But it is a bummer
Yeah.
that this is a show. This is a short show to begin with. Only 7 episodes, which I think is the
Yeah, but
shortest show we've gotten so far.
Levi made a good
and
point.
now having it be 6 episodes that really tie into the
Yeah.
title
I think-
character. I don't know. So this episode would have been like if this episode was like the first episode of season 3, like that would.
Right, but I think there's a
Really
reason
big.
that it's
But
not.
again, I
Like, I
know
think
there's
it's-
clearly a
right.
reason.
No,
There's
that
clearly a
means
reason.
Right.
that season 3, episode 1 is going to be even crazier.
Even
I think.
Yeah, I
crazier.
hope so. Yeah.
Considering they got a
Yeah.
top like season 2 ep 1, which was just like
Well, yeah.
that
Now
Right, yeah.
whatever.
Yeah,
that
Now,
was such
however,
an amazing episode.
I don't know if they need to top it. They just need to reset
they're
the
not
new
top.
premise.
Yeah, but like
I
they
think
need to
this-
set the
this-
tone.
this-
They need to set the
They'll,
tone.
they'll set the tone for
I'm
sure. I
sorry.
mean,
That's not
that was
too bad, is it?
that's the one thing. I mean,
No.
it is the Book of Boba Fett. The biggest. I mean, I'm not going to say it's a complaint because it's not a complaint, but there is a disjointedness as to how they're telling the story a little bit. So
Yeah.
that's the
Right.
only takeaway I can say that kind of is. It's not flowing as well as I feel it should, but I'm loving every frame of what
I-
they're doing.
Right.
Yeah,
But like, think
yeah.
about it. Think about it. Like it's a book. Like those when we watch it
Right.
back, it's those There's first 4 chapters. Like it is
Correct.
this story about Boba
Yes,
getting
yep.
from the
Yep.
Sarlacc pit to Mando.
Oh yeah, totally.
Then it intersects with Mando. We get Mando, and then now we're. in
I
the
hear
future.
you. I'm just
That
like,
feels weird to
especially.
me. I
the
don't know.
spotlight
That
off.
feels weird.
Boba. That's the biggest thing.
I see what you're
He's
saying.
Not
For me,
at the forefront of his own show.
Yeah, yeah.
like Kathy,
Yeah.
His
Kathy
own
came
shit.
out. Kathy came out Investor Day and said, "We're gonna do this Mando era, and they're all gonna connect, and they're all gonna
Yeah.
flow into
Oh
one
yeah.
another,
No,
and
I've got no problem with
culminate
that.
And then she
And it's gonna
ruined Star
culminate
Wars.
and it's gonna culminate in this climactic storytelling event. And for me, like, I want, if they can tell Boba's story, and they're confident that 6 and 7 can wrap up the story, but they also could fit in Din getting rid of the spear.
I have no doubt
learning about the Darksaber in
I have
this.
no doubt
then I
about
feel
that.
like I don't know. I don't have a problem.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. What Gibbs was just saying, like, if it is more of a 6-episode show with this shoved in there, like, then I'll be able to see.
That's the thing. Well, that's why I have no idea what next episode is going to be like.
Right.
Is it going to have Grogu? Is it going to continue what we saw in the last episode?
Well, it's Dave Filoni, so I'd say he's going to be pulling in the big guns at this point.
Here's my thing. Here's my thing. Like,
yes, that is Bob.
It's so exciting.
Actually,
I want a Din Djarin like Grogu episode. Like, I want that to be an episode in its own. I want a whole episode length of that in, like, you know.
I could have watched this as a feature film. I mean, this felt like a feature film kind of story. If they added an extra
that movie,
half an hour, 40 minutes, I could.
So different than like.
It felt
like
higher budget. It felt higher budget.
Yeah, it did, didn't it?
Yeah, which is kind of weird.
I do think it is in part due to the location change.
Yeah, I think it's
just
Tatooine.
I agree.
Been so used to Tatooine that it's.
Yeah,
I just feel like
That
the
did- that
cinematography
definitely
and
helped.
everything
Okay.
was like up a level.
Pause.
Wait.
Pause.
Before we do that, Levi, can I ask something for Gibbs real quick?
Sure.
That Liam asked.
Hold on.
Well, he asked Anchorman, but Ben, I'm gonna give this to you. Can you do a Wallace and Gromit review real quick?
It's cheese, Gromit. It's made of
Review.
cheese.
Are we talking Curse the
It's
Were-Rabbit?
cheese,
Or are we
Gromit.
talking
10-second
the original
review.
shorts?
Feathers McGraw is the best villain
The
of all
close
time.
shave
It's
is
a
the best
penguin with a
one.
gun.
That's an easy 10 out of 10. I don't give out 10s very often.
Yeah.
Or
You
the
heard it
wrong
here
trousers.
first.
The wrong
I'm a big
trousers, maybe
the wrong trousers kind of guy.
The
Yeah.
wrong
trousers.
trousers.
It's a
We
good
watched
app.
that the other
Okay,
night with
okay.
Donnie.
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
That
Did
was
you
fun.
what? Why? What? Okay.
Why?
Okay.
Because it's 10 out of 10.
It's good. Yeah, it is 10. It is
good.
10. Okay, but let's start because we're talking about a lot about, you know, how it fits in. But let's talk about this episode. So we start. It's in the Clatoonian meat locker.
The butcher.
The way
The
this is
butcher
shot,
shot.
the way this is shot, man. Bryce, she deserves a Star Wars movie like her father before her. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like
That's what I've been saying for a while
it
now.
runs
Oh,
in the
yeah.
family. The Howards are
absolutely.
just
Yeah.
they sleeper hits of Star Wars directing.
Yeah.
Sleeper hits, man. They
Absolutely.
understand it. But that shot of Mando,
And
he
she
comes
did the
through.
Bo-Katan episode in Mando season 2, which is I honestly I think that might
That's my favorite.
Be my
episode
favorite
of the
ep.
Yeah, it was-
show.
yeah, it
Obviously,
was
great.
Luke
Yeah.
is like the best
I
moment.
don't know.
But that episode is so amazing. Like the introduction of Bo-Katan was just like
good.
incredible.
But she understands where to put the camera. She understands the
Absolutely.
process. I don't know if the directors have direct control over the edit. That's the one thing I'm not familiar with. Whether they
Yeah, I
have
don't
control
know.
over the final edits of these series, because TV shows are very different than a feature film,
Right.
where it
I-
gets passed on to another group.
I'd like to
But-
think that they
They have some
had
sort of
creative
at
Well,
the
also,
beginning.
over
Yeah,
most
yeah.
things.
Star Wars and
Yeah.
Marvel, like, creative control is a lot different, I feel like, than a lot of other shows too, because there's a lot more.
I don't know. I think
intervening.
with Star Wars and from all the gallery stuff, it seems like they are very, very much involved, and I
Yeah.
don't
Fair,
think there's
fair.
that much interference.
Yeah.
Well, from even whatever
Besides
way
the
it goes,
showrunners and stuff.
even if
Right.
they gave it to someone else to edit, she gave them some great material to work with.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never
Great
thought a
footage.
butcher shop
Just-
like that would work in Star Wars, but it did.
Yeah.
So well.
Yeah.
We need to give like
completely.
more credit to Mandalorian season 1 of just getting like an amazing lineup of directors.
Yeah.
Mm.
Absolutely.
That's
Yeah,
just like the Star
absolutely,
Wars
yeah.
TV show like group
Yeah.
now. Like,
Right,
like
yeah.
they're
Yeah.
all just getting to do their own things. It's
And I
awesome.
get it.
Right.
I get more convinced every time. It's like put new directors who want to direct a Star Wars film, or that they want to have direct a Star Wars film through the TV verse. Done. Just let them do 1 or 2 episodes. Let them get the feel for the vibe, and take that
Yeah.
vibe and go with their own style,
Yeah.
understanding the heart of what. Should
And she
be
played
going
Gwen
forward.
Stacy.
Interesting
So, like-
thought.
Yeah,
what if
true.
J.J. Abrams had gotten
And
to
she was in
direct an
Jurassic World.
episode of a TV show before
I think
getting into the sequels? Because
would
that was
have
the first
been-
Star Wars
yeah.
anyone had done
Yeah.
in quite some
Yeah.
time.
Yeah,
You know, like that's an interesting thought.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
go ahead, Brent.
No, I was going to say. I mean, that was where that's where the trial and error began. I mean, there had to be trial and error. There still is, and I'm fine with the trial and error too. I mean, you need to find your new way, your new style, and so they realize what did and didn't work, and move forward from there. And again, it's great. We're getting more incredible Star Wars content all the time now.
Yeah,
Yes.
Getting better and stronger.
it's a very good feeling. So I have a question for everybody, and I guess this is kind of skipping to the end, which I just
I'm
wanna
trying to
talk
move
about
through
it.
chronologically. You madman.
I don't care.
Uh-huh.
What are
Are
the
you-
what do we think about
This guy loves derailing streams.
about seeing the little guy behind Brent next episode?
Okay, no, I veto. We
Yeah,
can't
is
talk
this
about
continuing?
Some
Is this
end
continuing?
Yeah, no.
conversation question,
Yeah, we will.
man. What are you
John, we will
doing?
talk about. Yeah, we will
We'll
talk
go.
about that later.
I want to talk about it
Oh, yeah.
now.
That's-
Okay,
That's speculation. That's speculation. Okay. Okay.
That'll
He
be
comes
cool.
in,
Yes, I
He's
will
coming
love
after
Yep.
Kaba Bias. These the Klatooinian
Unbelievable.
butchers, and oh my god, this fight with the Darksaber. This might be one of my favorite
Mm.
fights in Star Wars.
Yeah.
I've seen this episode. I've seen
Yep.
that scene like 3 times now. When it's like it has the weight from Rebels, like it exactly pulled from Trials
Yep.
of the Darksaber, and
Yep.
oh my god, when he cuts Kaba Bias in half on the
Dude,
table,
insane.
Yeah.
That
stabs
was
him,
so great.
I know.
slams him.
Yeah.
Some of it didn't make the reaction, but I was just like, you can still see it
Yeah.
in there. I was just stunned the
Yeah.
whole time. My hands were literally
Yeah.
up because I
Yeah.
was like,
It was-
what am
it was
I seeing?
incredible.
He wasn't lying when he
On-
said I can bring you in warm or I can bring you in cold.
Yeah.
And then
What's the
he
first
cut
time we've
the
really
guy
seen
in
him go?
I think
Yeah, it's the first time we've
the
seen him go that
decapitation
yeah.
in a
Yeah.
head in a bag
mean-
is pretty dark for
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, the
But
head in the
I-
bag.
also,
that
I
was-
was
think
just
about
talking to Dylan a couple
You
days ago about how I thought
Yeah.
this show wasn't like dark or gritty enough. And to, like,
Yeah.
and then
was
that
Yeah,
one
It
that,
also-
happened.
that did it for you.
It immediately helps set the tone, though, too, is like, what
Yeah.
is Din Djarin like after losing Grogu? He's not a happy person. He really isn't. This is about
Right.
a year, maybe 6 months to a year after he passes Grogu to
yeah.
Luke, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Well, I was
He's-
also
he's miserable. He's a miserable SOB, you know.
He wouldn't have
he's
done
a
that in front of
single
Grogu.
father.
No way.
That's
no,
it,
no,
yeah.
no chance.
No, yeah,
Oh, no,
absolutely.
not at all.
He's-
Exactly, yeah. So he's falling back to his old ways that he might have.
Well, also, I was surprised to see he was bounty hunting at the beginning, but then I guess we
It's
move
for-
along. It's kind
for
it's for a,
It's
a
just-
higher
Well,
reason.
it was
yeah,
for a
he's
cause.
not
He was
just
trying to
make
find
money.
his people.
Exactly,
Yeah, he was trying to.
right.
Yeah, he was trying to
I
find.
kind of had
And-
a feeling that Mando was like rich. Like I kind of thought he was like.
He's
kind
got
of wilding
stacks.
out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure, absolutely.
Like
Yeah.
You
he
think
banked.
so?
Well, he was
Now-
getting
Well,
money.
I don't know. He's
even
been
if
bounty
not.
hunting for a minute.
He's well
yeah.
off at least.
As long as he didn't keep it on the Razor Crest.
He wasn't in season
True.
1 though. That was a big problem.
He was, I guess he was kind of broke in season 1.
He was
Yeah.
broken. Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
did he get the money for Grogu? I forget. Did he like steal that money? Did he?
Yeah,
come
he
up-
got
get
the
away
best.
with
Yeah,
that?
no, he got all.
That was
Yeah,
the
he
best
got
part.
all.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that was the
He
best.
He
part,
made it
right,
to his
right.
own
That's
Darn
how-
part, yeah.
That's how
I'm
the
sure, he
show
still does,
started.
I'm sure
Yeah.
anybody does regular jobs in the Star Wars galaxy, though. I mean,
Yeah.
every once in a while, who would take
Either way, he
some sort of
uses
job.
that
Oh,
money
yeah.
he gets to pay Pelimato later. So, and I think
Yeah,
I think he's got the cash. Like he seems like he's
Yeah,
more.
I don't
together
like
now.
'cause he turned down the
Yeah.
money from Boba, like, and that's what I wanted.
That's
'cause,
true.
Like I don't,
Right,
I
right,
just
right.
don't see why. He's
I
not,
thought he was
like, a
gonna do
bounty
that
hunter like
either
that
way because
anymore.
like they
Yeah,
just
no,
like
I
his
did too.
character, but
Right.
But yeah,
he,
so
kinda-
he
he owes Boba a bit.
Yeah.
so he chops him in half. He cuts off his
Oh,
head in
yeah.
a great like
Yeah,
it's the way
yeah.
that's shot, that's framed, and you see
Yeah.
the Darksaber like you hear the slice, and then it goes like
Mhm.
back into the blade. So cool. But he walks out and he's limping. He does the whole like you guys. Okay, quick aside. So he says the former employer line, which
Yeah.
is the line that in the trailer when the mayor says the former employer line, people thought it was Din Djarin, and it just so happens that actually
It
Din
was.
Djarin in the show says the same line
Yeah.
Yeah.
that
Oh,
people
yeah.
thought
Right.
was like
Yep.
what a weird.
I
What a
knew
strange
straight away that was
coincidence.
Din Djarin's voice. I knew it straight away.
But it wasn't,
That wasn't
though.
Din Djarin. That
Oh,
wasn't.
it
That
was-
was.
it
That
was-
was.
sure?
No, that was Robert
Was it-
Rodriguez,
Really?
the mayor's voice. He says the
Yeah.
exact
Really?
same line. It's
Yeah,
such a
well,
I
he
weird
thought there was
thing.
from the very first trailer. Really?
no,
I
it
thought
Yeah,
was,
he
it
says
was,
you
it
sit
was
on the
two-
throne.
He
Really?
says you
Okay.
sit, yeah, he says you sit
Alright.
on the throne of your former
Because he
employer.
sounded but he sounded different in the episode compared to the trailer.
Yeah, he did.
But even
he
then,
did.
Yeah.
but even
He
then,
did still
they
the
would
same
get.
line.
Brooklyn.
They would,
Yeah.
but,
Oh no,
but
same
so they
line
would, like
for sure. Yeah,
intercut. But so
Yeah.
they would intercut like Robert Rodriguez's voice into Pedro's. Like for what purpose in the trailer? Like it's so weird to me that like that was a
Yeah.
whole thing, and then
Yeah.
it actually he did say the line, but it wasn't in
Yeah.
the trailer. Like
Right.
what a weird coincidence.
Yeah.
Very strange.
Well,
We're just
nothing's
very
ever
strange. to me.
coincidence. They know what they were doing.
And even now, like people,
I
but
think
but
so.
like but people like now are like, Dimes is saying
Yeah.
that was Moxay's, and then Mug says that was definitely
Yeah.
Pedro. Like, why was that something to be left up to debate?
Yeah.
Like, why not? What a weird,
Yeah,
what a
because-
weird
why?
thing.
Because it
Well, I
was
don't
talk
think they, like-
on the very first drop of the trailer. It became talk. Is that Din
I
Djarin?
know,
Yeah,
I know,
and-
but like,
I don't think they
I
wanted
don't
to.
think
I don't
I don't
that
think they
was
meant that because it
That's
showed
so
a shot
weird.
of the
Really?
mayor.
Really?
Yeah, because they showed it in the trailer. It's a
Yeah.
shot of the mayor from the
The
show.
subtitles
and it's
also
I
say
know.
alien speaking.
Yeah,
I
it's
know,
just
I
funny.
know.
It's like what a
Yeah.
weird. Anyway, so he
It's
walks out
weird.
though. He does that whole bit,
Yeah.
and we get this. It cuts to the Book of Boba theme, but it's this great blend with the Mandalorian theme and the return of the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
That's
that
where
was awesome.
in that and earlier that's what I was talking about. How
Yeah.
this is a chapter about Mando, but in this larger book, like the way that the music in this episode tells that story
yeah.
of this is Book of Boba, but this
Yeah.
is Mando now. Like those,
Yeah,
this is we're
Yeah.
looking at it from a different perspective and how it
It's
ties
called
into
The
Boba's
Return
story.
of the Mandalorian.
The Return of the
Yeah, it's
Mandalorian and
true.
the Return
Yeah.
of the Jedi. You've got the same
Yeah, there you go.
coincidence
Yeah.
of the return of.
And you called it pretty early on in the reaction, Levi, that
Mm.
this was going to be a full Mando episode.
Yeah.
Up until the end, I couldn't really believe it.
No,
and then,
neither
and then
did
it,
I. And I'm-
yeah, and then he.
I just-
Vader
I didn't
came
think
in
they
and
would
he
do
was
it.
like, yeah, we're not.
I was going on about the fact this would be a Mando journey. You go on a side story with Mando before you get to the Boba
Right,
Fett
right.
story. And
Yeah,
it was like,
like
yeah,
you
half,
could have had
half,
Boba Fett
half,
in that
half
episode.
right.
He could've
Yeah,
been
you
right.
could have. You could have. Yeah, you definitely could have.
Right.
They should have.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was a pretty long ep. But anyway, so
It was a
then we
very
get
long
this-
app.
He
And I
could have
wanna
been like
talk about
involved
this.
in the events of the episode.
I think
Yeah.
we get what might be just off the top of my head the
Hmm.
longest one shot, one take in
Yep,
Star
I
Wars.
was going to mention
Yep.
that. Yeah.
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 Like
It was
because
great.
right after that we get these great establishing shots of I believe it's called what's the ring called? AJ sent it. It's like starts with a
I'm on
G. It's like here, allow me to quickly fact check. This ring got a name. It's in the credits.
Oh, the ring
Right.
that they're. Oh.
It is Glavis.
Glavis.
But,
Oh,
anyways, yes,
Glavis.
Oh, they
So
were-
you get
okay,
this
all right.
amazing.
They're
Yes.
like long
Awesome
take,
ring.
and they start on the elevator. Then
Yeah.
then Mano
It
drops.
becomes
the
like this
head,
bar. It's like a nice whole
Yeah.
party going
bar.
on.
And the way that
It's so cool. And they
the
walk
way the
back.
camera moves in and there's an Ishi
Yeah.
tib, and I was like,
Mhm. Yes. Yeah.
Brad, I'm sure you appreciate that. A great return of the
Oh
Jedi
yeah. No.
back to
Totally.
Alien.
Yeah. No. Totally. Absolutely. For sure.
And he's like, "Hey,
Um,
join us. I got another job for you." And then he just hits him with that. I'd put
Yep.
that on
He's like-
ice if I were
he's
you.
like,
And
nah.
he
Yeah,
dips.
yeah.
He's
Yep.
just out. He's not in it for the money. He's gotta
No,
find the armor.
Yeah.
And then we
The one-
see him.
yeah.
What do we go? Where do we go? So yeah, then
Go
we see
down.
him turn on his little detective mode type thing, which I thought was cool.
Right,
And he's
right.
looking for the covert.
Yeah.
And
I was
and
going
we
to say
approach-
briefly about the station.
Yeah.
Did you notice that the ring? We never see the center of it, but there seems to be like these cross panels because you see these square beams of light going through as
Mhm.
it was day and night in between.
yeah.
So there's
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
sort of central
Like
spinning
sectioned
thing
off.
that is your day and night light source
Cycle,
that
yeah.
slowly moves around the
Yeah.
ring to create day and night, which is just a again, it was just a great kind of different visual than a full sun
Yeah.
right in the middle of the.
Yeah, that was
Of
like
the
one of the I think
Right.
the
Design-wise,
coolest
yeah.
like I don't know if
Yeah.
I don't know you can call it a planet, but like one of the
Yeah.
coolest like things
Right,
we've seen
yeah.
in a
settlement.
while.
Some sort
Like,
of station,
I
settlement
know we don't-
station.
it was
we don't
very it was
talk about
almost
gravity in
Coruscant
Star
like
Wars.
almost
Yeah,
Right,
yes,
yeah,
yeah.
that's
That's,
true.
it reminded me of that so much. Yeah,
yeah.
Well, it's
I
another.
really like
I
that.
don't know, a ring like planet. I guess another one of those things that I wouldn't think would work great in Star Wars, but they pulled it off
Well, it
really
felt
well.
Oh, yeah,
kind of like
yeah.
MCU almost, but
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
not in a
agreed.
yeah,
bad
it
way.
did, didn't it?
No,
yeah,
yeah,
But it-
definitely.
It did.
yeah.
Or
Right.
I was saying during
I don't
the
know, it
watch
gave me
party, it
a-
reminded me of 2001: Space Odyssey for
Yeah,
some
right,
reason.
right.
Yeah.
Not so much the
In
ring
Star
part,
Wars,
but just like
it would
the-
give me-
the architecture.
Yeah,
sort of the rings of Kafrene in Rogue One, where Cassian is in the beginning.
Yeah,
Sort of like
Yeah.
that kind of vibe.
Right, yeah, that's similar.
There-
there
which
is
was
a-
a lot
which I-
like MCU, the way it was.
Which I
framed.
thought was Coruscant in the beginning, yeah.
yeah. The closest thing I could find was I was looking through my art books, and I swear I've seen this artwork before. The closest thing I could find was in season 6 of the Clone Wars. There is a ring around
Yeah,
the
Ringo
planet,
Vinda.
and
Yeah.
where we see that. Where
That was for Revenge of the Sith when George originally wanted to do
Yes.
the 7
Mhm.
battles on
Yep.
7 planets,
yeah,
and then they
that's where I
reused
found
that art in Clone Wars.
Yeah. But it was a very
It's an
different
old
station.
drawing.
Yeah, it was a different station. Though.
Yeah.
It wasn't quite anything near the scale of this. But yeah.
Yeah, like
Right.
Jason's saying in the chat, this is much more like Elysium or
Elysium.
Halo or
Yep. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what it
something
reminded me of.
Very
That,
Halo.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was
the
that was the
first
movie I
thing
was
that
thinking of.
come to my
Elysium. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Matt Damon
Yeah.
and Charlotte Copley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an alright film.
Decent-
Solid in theaters.
Decent film. Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, decent,
It's
good film.
alright.
I like Neil Blomkamp as an aside. I think
Mm.
Neil Blomkamp is
Yeah.
underrated film director.
Oh,
Anyway,
that's great.
So, yeah, so he this their covert now is like hanging at the bottom of the station, and just the visual of the open space as he climbed down the ladder.
It was cool.
Area
That was
Stunning.
was so awesome.
Stunning.
Like, it's
Yeah.
instant classic.
Yeah.
It
Right.
really
I love how
had
there's
the
just
Star
I love how
Wars
there's
feel.
just like now there's just I know well
There's just three.
obviously he goes down, then we see the armor and Paz Vizsla, and that's it.
Right.
That's
Yeah,
it.
that's
only
literally
them-
just
it's
that, and
only
they're
them
back
two.
to
Yeah,
subjugated to
it's
just
the
living in the
only-
sewers.
the rest of the
essentially.
cult.
Yeah.
The
Right, right,
extremist.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
Which
I
don't know
got
if
the
I'm happy
impression.
about or sad about.
I don't know. I mean, I got the impression only two of them found their way to this place so
I did
far,
too, yeah.
rather than there
Yeah.
were only two left.
I wouldn't
Sure,
believe
we
that
know a
everyone
bunch of
else died on
Mandalorians. It's
Navarro.
just-
That's
There were a lot of people that
That's
were
what
kind
it
of a
made
lot
it
of
seem like. I don't know.
Mandalorians who were blasting
Oh,
off and
just-
getting out of
Yeah.
there. Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
They
no.
were-
Like this cult, like I don't know if they're the good guys. Armor,
Yeah,
got
I
a
don't think
real
so, yeah.
It gets hard for me to root for
real
them,
antagonist.
especially
No,
after
you-
last
de-
season.
definitely not. I don't
Here's my
think Bo-Katan's
question.
necessarily the good guy either, though.
Well, that's what I was going to
Yeah,
say.
we
Do
know what she
do
we know what she wants though.
Do we
Yeah,
see a
right,
confrontation between Bo-Katan, Paz Vizsla, and Mandalorian Din
Maybe.
Djarin?
Yeah,
Just like
Like
there's
to,
going to be
yeah, absolutely.
was
I
we
think
know
throw
that
the
Paz
armor
Vizsla
in
is
there.
going to be.
I think that is I think there
the
will be
armor, you think so?
absolutely
I don't know
a,
if she, yeah,
a scene
Sorry.
with the armor in Bo-Katan or something like that at some point in season 3.
yeah.
I
yeah.
think so.
Because they call themselves Mandalorians, but they have very different ideas of what
Now,
a Mandalorian
Right,
yeah,
is,
yeah.
now
you know?
that we're here at this point in the
Yeah.
episode, I think it is safe we can just start talking about all of the Mandalorian lore. But
Yeah.
I was-
a
yeah, that
final-
was-
yeah.
They drop
Well,
a
yeah.
lot here.
A
There's
final
lot
point,
to-
though.
when Bo
final-
Katan finds out that he's like a child of the Watch, like she's
Yeah.
like she's not like angry about it. She almost like
No,
thinks that
yeah.
they're like
Well,
under her, you know. She's like she kind of
because-
thinks they're like stupid. She's like,
Well, I think that's
yeah, you
because
follow
you
that
know,
old tradition. It's just, like,
Yeah.
she doesn't
People-
like, got respect for him.
Well,
Right,
as a first as a quick aside, in terms of the covert on Navarro, a lot of them did survive, but then when
Yeah.
Moff Gideon shows up, that's when they get killed. In season
Gotcha.
one,
Yeah,
that
'cause
was
you gotta
sort of
think
the,
about it.
yeah, that was
that was the
timeline
There's
of
so many
events.
helmets and like armor.
Yeah,
like
they
look at that
yeah,
pile.
Empire
Remember
showed
that
up.
pile?
Yeah,
No, there
the
was a
Empire showed
pile,
up.
but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either way,
That
anyway.
I forgot
suggested
about
to
that.
me that like they were pretty.
A lot
much
of them
like
died.
that,
Yeah, a lot of them
Yeah.
died.
Right.
Or at least the Navarro
Yeah.
ones. Anyway, in terms of, Bo-Katan, we got to remember, because a lot of the lore was cross-referenced here from Clone Wars and Rebels.
Mhm.
Uh, Concordia thing, the moon of Concordia.
Yeah.
Almec says to Obi-Wan about how all the warrior clans they're put on the moon. And
Yeah.
so that became what Death Watch was and all the different
Yes.
watch stuff.
Mhm.
But then when Bo-Katan breaks from the watch, when Paz Vizsla, probably, or Pre-Vizsla, probably Paz Vizsla's dad,
Yeah.
gets his head chopped off, like those people, I imagine, who stayed with Maul are probably what become sort of the Children of the Watch kind of deal. Back on Concordia,
Yeah.
whereas Bo and the
Right.
Night Owls become something else. And like at
Well,
that point, when she
yeah.
sticks with Mandalore, like all these different opinions about Mandalore, that's
Yeah.
like another split. Because already in the Clone Wars timeline, there was a Mandalorian Civil War recently, and
Yeah.
it was something I noticed on a rewatch. But when the armor is giving the lore, she said that the ones she wasn't necessarily talking about Bo, but she was talking about Satine. Like she said, the people.
Yeah,
on
oh yeah,
Bo
no,
War,
totally, yeah,
of
I got
Mandalore
that.
lost
Oh,
their
yeah.
way, and I was like, oh man, like.
Yeah. Yeah.
All that stuff about the Civil War and the different clans, like that was
Yeah.
all in Clone Wars, and so
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And
I love all the different positions.
And
It
you see
seems
them
like the night-
splinter again for you see them splinter again for Rebels too. So you see that faction continue through into Star Wars Rebels with
Right. And it seems like the Children of the Watch are probably even more extreme than Death Watch in a way. I mean, Death Watch took their
Yeah.
helmets off and stuff. They didn't
yeah.
subjugate themselves to that. So
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know. I think that the Children of the Watch definitely aren't like the good guys we're not rooting for them. I think Mando is going to renounce their ways by
Right.
the end of
Yeah,
season
well,
3 or
this is
whenever
such
that
like
arc
a
comes.
day one Mandalorian theory, but the armor does have the like Mandalorian like
Oh,
spikes
yeah.
on her helmet.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's got the little.
they know what
spikes.
they're doing. Nothing is like coincidental. I don't.
Right.
Think.
Yeah.
They,
100%.
like you have, Dave Filoni like working on it. Like they know what they're doing. So
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't
Right.
know if that is ever going to be a connection. Like I think that'd be awesome.
I
I mean-
also like how he's still sort of rolling with them even after hearing Bo-Katan's like how she's like, you're
that's
crazy,
what
like, you're insane.
I like didn't think that
Well-
he was gonna go back.
Right. I think we're
I-
still waiting for that character
I
arc to
think-
fully flesh out.
I think he's just lost again. This is a different, post
Yeah, me
giving
too.
Grogu back. So he's gone back to the only thing he's ever known, and the only thing he's ever known is this. But then he's being cast out. My other question becomes:
Right.
is do we see this as a side adventure in Mandalorian season 3, where he tries to find this river under the mines kind of.
This might be part of the main story. I think so. Yeah,
They
and then
call
I
it the
think through
living,
that.
the living waters, or like the living.
living-
rivers.
Yeah,
I
something
think
like that, yeah.
season 3, episode 1 will be like
Him
that.
on that.
I think
Yeah.
it'll be him going to Mandalore and going down
Yeah.
to.
Right.
Yeah.
I think through doing that, I think he's gonna, turn away from the children of the Watch or whatever they are, whatever they're calling themselves now, and be like, no, that's
Yeah.
not the way. But
I want
Bo-Katan's
to just
way
see him
isn't necessarily
become
the way.
like the truest Mandalorian. Take
Yeah.
all the best opinions and
Mhm.
beliefs of all the different clans.
Yeah, combining them. Yeah.
Unite
I
Mandalore.
think
Right.
that's what Grogu's going to be though.
Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You think-
yeah.
you
The
think-
more that happens, the more
Yeah,
I
I
feel
know,
like
'cause-
Grogu's gonna
Well,
be the Jedi.
Oh yeah, because he'll be the
Mandalorian.
Jedi. He'll have the
Yeah.
dark saber, maybe.
Yeah.
He'll be
Yeah.
Tar Vizsla, which for
You
one,
think
I wanna see-
he will be Mandalorian though?
Yeah,
Yeah.
with them.
Yeah, he is
talking
Mandalorian.
about-
the
He's a
armor.
foundling. He's a foundling.
Yeah.
He's
With-
100%
yeah,
with them
Mandalorian. He's a
talking
Mandalorian
about
Jedi.
Tar
Jedi.
Vizsla,
Yeah,
I think
Absolutely.
they're really hinting the fact that's what Grogu
Right.
is going to be.
yeah.
And I,
Which is
for
so
one,
I
awesome.
guess. Okay.
I want to see even more now than ever after reading some of the more recent Thrawn books where they talk about the
Mhm.
Sith Wars and knowing now that Tar Vizsla he died officially like at the same time that Darth Bane died and like the whole Rule 2 happened, like all of this stuff in the galaxy with the Mandalorian War and like the dark saber, like that was all happening 1,000 years before A New Hope.
Yeah, every
What a-
1,000 years something
What
happens.
an insane era! Like I want to see that, man, where there's the the Mandalorians are raiding the Jedi Temple, the Sith are around,
Mhm.
Darth Bane's around, the Chiss
Yeah.
are in the galaxy, like
Yeah.
that era is nuts, and
Yeah.
the
It'd
way
be
that she
crazy.
talks about that'd be crazy. So just in
Give it a
future thing, like,
decade.
I want to step in just
Yeah.
for a second. Dimes for the dollar. To the dollar. Did mention, and I want to quote back. The theory is still out that I've got a feeling that it is
Yeah.
Omega who is the armorer.
I don't
That
like
is
it.
my
I don't
theory
like
that it'll be really, okay.
It's
fair
a
enough.
good
How would
one. That's
you
a
even-
good
how
one.
would
It's
you
man.
even-
it's seeming
But-
less and less now, but it's still out there.
I don't think
an
the armor is a
interesting
very
thought.
good person. I'll be honest. I don't
How
think
is
the
No,
armor
I
is
don't
good
think
in
ended up there.
intentions.
Yeah, I don't think so either. She's becoming less friendly.
Right. Yeah. And maybe
More
not
cult-
so much
more
that, but she's
cult-
misguided.
more
That's
cult-
all she knows.
yeah,
Yeah, but
more
if
cult
the
leader.
entire Bad
Yeah.
Batch gets wiped out,
Yeah,
can do a lot to a person.
It's true.
yeah, it
that
could
is
be.
true.
If it
But
is
for her to
then-
become a full-on
but it's-
Mandalorian, that's gonna be a lot.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I
We're
mean,
really gonna have to see that.
Do we really think that she has like a larger identity that is just being held secret for now? I don't know. I question
It's more
that. I
to
don't-
her character.
We'll go into that as a if it ever happens.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
I guess so.
Sabine.
But it's speculation for now.
Anyways, but
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
like
okay.
all that stuff, like
Let's roll with that.
with Paz and the armor was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
insane. Like the training and like and
was great.
I know I'm getting
It was
there to
great.
the Night of a Thousand Tears. That was
Yeah.
the sequence that. Oh my god,
I
chill.
cannot
It
see
was-
those. I
it
cannot
hit
wait to
me.
see those images put in my Star Wars
Yeah.
textbooks that I have down there. Like when the next one
Yeah.
updates and they have like
Yeah.
the purge and they have that
Yeah.
shot of
You
the
took the
K2 or
artwork?
the KX.
The dome blowing up
well,
or
the
the
cat-
Terminator
oh my
shot.
God.
We've been waiting for live action
Ugh.
Mandalore for so long now.
Yeah.
And seeing
We're
that,
getting
seeing
there. We're
Sundari,
getting
seeing
there, dude.
Sundari blow up like that.
That was
Yeah.
just insane.
Yeah.
Like,
Crazy.
that, I mean,
Tragic.
if you follow the Clone Wars, then yeah, absolutely, that is such a
Rebels,
powerful
too,
thing.
yeah.
That is like
Right.
the civilian population live in that entire center.
whole
That
thing.
is it.
I
The
was
whole
really
thing. That's it.
hoping.
That's all they-
I was
yeah.
admittedly hoping for to like once we got to Mandalore, once we get to Mandalore, I was hoping we would see the dome, at least be like obviously taken over by the Empire, but I didn't know it was gonna be blown up.
We are literally
can
going to
see
get
it.
into
Realize
it
that,
fast. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it kind of makes you question what is Bo-Katan really truly fighting for, because
Well,
you
there
know,
are other.
what do we-
it
There
really
are
is,
other.
it is a
there
glass, you know.
There's other
There are other
places,
domes,
but
there are
yeah,
other
there's other
structures,
domes.
Right.
Yeah.
but
But that is like the
think-
main-
we think
main
we
one, I
just-
guess.
Yeah,
Right.
no,
Yeah.
totally.
Well, at least bringing Mandalore together is her first. She'll figure it out as she goes. I
Yeah.
especially liked
Yeah,
the
man.
connections just between like Rebels and they explain the whole like why Bo-Katan can't take the lightsaber again, which is something we
Yeah.
always kind of
Oh, yeah,
figured, but
that
there
was
there
great.
was a side of the fan base that was like they don't know what they're doing. Like in Rebels, she just
Yeah,
No,
I
they
was
know
always
exactly
like, I
what
thought
they're
it always
doing.
made sense for
Yeah.
Me too. Yeah.
her to take it, but I
Yeah.
guess not.
God, the fact that there's like
Well,
this
to take
curse-
it-
Yeah.
It's like
But the curse, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it made
Sabine didn't win.
it
Like
was
who
great.
could have won it from Maul? Because they
Mhm.
just like found it. Like is
Right.
it Obi-Wan?
Well, then it's still the
Does
curse, you know.
Obi-Wan
It's
have
still
the
like
Darksaber?
Yeah, it's part of the curse.
Yeah.
right.
Because-
Because
already-
the moment that's
Was the
being
curse inevitable at
Ren
that point? Then?
passed
Like,
it, yeah, absolutely.
and-
That set everything in motion to losing everything. I think.
But Maul won it like legit
Yeah.
though.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Probably, I
But
think
to
probably
being
Maul taking
past
it was the start of
Yeah,
things not being
but
so
it-
good for Mandalore.
Just an
But
idea.
it was the
Yeah.
moment that's been passed it to Bo-Katan. That was the actual curse right there hitting,
But
and then of course it was destroyed. Like,
But it's also clear other Mandalorians aren't going to accept her if she just takes it again.
Mm.
Because look what happened to Mandalore when it was under
Yeah.
her rule. So she's
Yeah.
going to really have she knows she has to win that thing in
Yeah.
combat.
Yeah, no, I was thinking about it. Like when you listen to the dialogue, the
Yeah.
stuff about the curse is true, but it's also coming from this cult leader who has this
Oh,
very
for sure. Oh,
Yeah.
particular like view. And like when I'm listening to stuff and I'm
View,
thinking about
Yeah.
like Rebels and I'm thinking about Cloners, I'm
Yeah.
like, I think I can think of some of the things that would contradict what you're saying here, but
Exactly.
Right.
still, it is cool
Yeah.
that in
Yeah.
in the
It can be
logic
looked
of it,
upon.
it can
Yeah,
looked
it can be
upon
looked
as like
upon as that.
this
Right.
because there
I
was
guess,
this,
right.
you know,
From
Yeah.
the
civil
start
war.
of Mandalorian
Mhm.
season 1, we were like confused about what Mandalorian culture
Yeah.
was because it almost seemed like the
Yeah.
Mandalorian was a big retcon at first.
Yeah.
And
Now,
we,
the
we
other
weren't
thing-
sure, and it just
Yeah.
all became so clear in season 2 that like
Exactly.
there's a very narrow point of view that we've been
Yeah.
taught, and I think that was just to ease audiences like into the whole idea. I think
100%.
that
I
was
mean,
the
he doesn't even
point.
know what a Jedi is. This is the perfect entry.
Yeah,
to
yes.
one, you know.
Yes, very
Now,
much. And now
the
we're
other
seeing
thing-
it like for what it is.
The other thing we learned from that conversation was that it was Moff Gideon who was more or less in charge of that entire.
Yeah.
It seemed like he was in charge of the entire purge of Mandalore. It seems like he was right there, right front and center, is what we gathered. At least that's what I gathered from the conversation.
Yeah, I
right?
think after Tiber Saxon gets killed in Rebels, they
Mhm.
probably appoint Gideon as
Mm.
Moff of that sector, and then
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
And
everything
we
just
could-
gets bombed.
yeah,
the scene
yeah.
that Gideon
It seems like there's no
fought
teeth.
Bo-Katan for
Yeah,
the
yeah.
lightsaber.
Mm.
I would
Yeah.
have loved to see that. I don't know
Yeah.
how he would have beaten her without. Like,
I think he
tricking
probably
her.
just took it. Yeah,
You think he just took it? I don't. But she made it seem like she lost
Yeah.
it, like in a battle. I don't
I-
know.
I think he might
Yeah.
have pulled some stuff. Like I don't think he could beat her, and I think he
Yeah.
knows that too. And because she seems very confident that he can beat
Yeah.
that she can beat him for the
Yeah.
dark
Yeah.
saber. So I think he
Yes.
pulled some stuff.
and he's
Oh,
also
yeah.
afraid
Yeah.
of her. Like
Yeah.
he doesn't want her around. You know, like in
Right.
the episode we're talking about, Bryce Dallas Howard episode, like when the captain calls him. And they're like, we got the Mandalorians on board. He's just like, tank the ship, man. Literally crash it
Yep,
and kill them all.
that's
Because I don't
it,
want
yeah,
I don't want to deal with this. Like
Yeah,
he wants
that's
to, he
it.
does not want her
Yep.
coming near him at all.
Oh yeah, no,
Um,
not at all.
But yeah,
no.
all that lore, man, around the saber, it's so cool.
So
and
great. Oh, it was,
I just
just
can't wait to see
again,
where it goes.
the physical weight of the saber was like they were, fighting with a broadsword, like literally,
Yeah.
Right.
huge, heavy
It was
broadsword.
just like Rebels.
and,
it was just
and it
like
wasn't,
Sabine-
yeah, and it
Sabine
wasn't
Rebels.
just Din Djarin. It was also,
Vaz.
Vaz. Yeah,
Right.
Paz Vizsla.
Right.
He was even having even more trouble than Din was. It was great to
Right.
see.
Which I
the-
love the
Sabine-
fact that he's a. I love the fact that he was a Vizsla. Like that was just a background thing
Yeah.
in the
I
subtitles
always-
of season 1, and it was
I always
spelled
gathered-
differently, and they were like but then they're fully going in. They changed the spelling in this episode in the
Oh,
credits. Like
yeah.
he's a Vizsla.
Yeah.
He is.
I didn't know
descended-
what was the
Absolutely,
spelling?
yeah.
It was spelled with an S, and not a
Yes.
Z.
Really, I
Um,
didn't. Really,
but they changed
I
it.
don't know either.
They changed it
Okay.
because
That's
now
awesome.
there's
Just some
official. Like
intern putting it
yeah,
in
well,
there.
well, no,
Yeah.
because it wasn't actually meant to be anything before. Like I'm sure when they were writing that in 2018, it was just like a small little thing in the credit for
Yeah.
like a stunt performer. It's not like this is the official lore. But now, no, he is descendant of pre-Vizsla, and I
Yes,
love that
yeah,
it's both Jon
Yeah.
Favreau, and I just think
Yeah.
watching this and having the context of
Mhm.
Clone Wars and Rebels, which watching your reaction, Brett, like I can't imagine like Jason, like you got to show him those episodes.
Yeah. Oh no,
Like,
yeah.
we've got it set up.
Like-
we're going through the Mandalorian arc, which is about
Good,
11
good,
episodes, I believe.
Yep.
And then I still want to take them through into Rebels too, because that's
Yeah,
that's
like,
key and important.
I'm thinking about when the Vizslas like took Mandalore down, man. They took back Mandalore, and he made this call
Yeah.
when Maul cuts my head off. That's it, and then the faction split, and like there you go,
Yeah.
and like just that
Yeah.
moment is so
That's what
powerful.
happened. Yeah,
So
that's great.
powerful.
Which is
But,
of course, yeah.
I'm trying to think. So yeah, I mean we got. I mean the training was good, and then the fight with Paz. I mean like I did.
Oh,
I
the
honestly
train-
did. I did
Armor
think
speaking
for a
in Mandalorian, like we
Yeah.
haven't
Yeah.
heard that.
Yeah.
I did.
So
I
cool.
did think that. I did think that Paz was gonna die.
I did
I
too.
obviously,
I
it
actually
wasn't going to
did
be
too.
Din.
I didn't think Mando was gonna.
I didn't think, man,
I
there's not enough of them to kill each other, but I
Yeah.
do think Paz was going for the kill. Like,
Oh yeah,
Paz was
yeah.
definitely
Oh, yeah.
going
Paz
for it.
going-
I thought
Absolutely.
Paz
Yeah.
wasn't gonna let him yield.
even
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
that being said, I don't think the armor would have let them kill each other. Like, there's
Right.
3
Yeah.
of them, and
I
there's
mean,
like,
Yeah,
that's what I'm
yeah.
saying. Like,
Just
there's, yeah,
like
there's
Well,
not-
she's Loki, the one that stops it. She's like,
no,
Yeah.
Yeah.
she
Yeah.
100%
Totally,
was
yeah.
the one who stops it.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, not
Yeah,
that
yeah.
Mando was going to kill him, but she
right.
didn't.
But Paz was not gonna let him
Yeah.
not kill him. It seemed
But
until.
also
the armor
think
killed
about
him.
it. Every other time we've heard this story about the Darksaber, it is to the death, and it's interesting that the you know the cult leader is the one that is the first time it's ever been stopped to this point to the death.
Right.
So
She can't afford to lose.
she can't. No, she can't afford to lose him. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, it was an interesting choice. And is that another? How does that spin take and play down the future too?
Yeah,
with
it
her-
might have been a little different if Paz
her
was the one
choice.
that won, not being the former holder of the Darksaber. I
Yeah,
don't know,
yeah,
but
yeah.
still
all very
great stuff.
complicated.
Great fight.
Very
Um,
complicated.
I really liked in the training scene when she like grabbed his helmet with like
Yeah,
the,
and dings
whatever
his
you
head.
call it, like the pliers.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yoda moment.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
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 And she was
Very
training him Loki like a Jedi, like in
Yeah.
ways.
Oh,
yeah,
like,
no,
Yeah,
you
oh,
talk
yeah.
about patience. Don't fight the saber. It was very reminiscent to the Sabine and
Yeah, but it wasn't working,
Kanan
though.
training.
She was
No,
good
I
enough
mean,
to get through to Mando.
exactly.
Do-
Sabine's
do we
lucky enough
think-
to have Kanan Jarrus to teach her.
Do we think that Din is going to figure this out by himself from that information as to how to fight better, you know, with the lightsaber, or
Guess he might be coming in next
Or is he,
What do we think?
going and he's going to see
Or
Luke?
do we
I
think
don't
he'll get some help from Grogu?
So you're asking.
Oh.
So you want to talk about next ep? Or
Nah.
know.
Or-
No.
We're almost there. We're almost there. Well, okay,
Oh,
no,
is that
Johnny,
what we're like-
Johnny,
we're-
Johnny.
We're only
Wait.
1/3 of the way through the
Well, hold
episode
on,
right now.
no.
Johnny, no, but here's
Yep.
a good avenue because the big
Mhm.
takeaway from this scene is he gets the little gift for Grogu.
Yeah.
We don't know
Oh,
what it is.
yeah.
Is
Chain
it- is it
mail.
that-
It's
It's
chainmail
chainmail.
armor.
Come on,
It's
it's
chainmail
chainmail.
armor. Because they
it's a
showed
chainmail-
that chain.
I think it's a chainmail
last
cloak.
night we thought it was like
Yeah.
scraps or something.
Maybe a cloak.
It's
Yeah,
too
I think
small to
that's
be a
chainmail.
full-on helmet
Yeah,
or like a
yeah.
even
It's
armor.
like it's chainmail armor. I
I'm
think.
not sure,
Yeah.
like, is that gonna like?
Absolutely.
But they look like
Armor or a
big,
hood
like big
or a-
rings.
yeah, I
So
don't
it was
know.
like that's
It's
why I
gonna
was
be
like,
cool.
Well,
I don't-
I think the illusion is it'll be
Oh.
much smaller by the time it's finally.
yeah, I
crafted.
guess, I
Right.
guess.
The thing
I
with
was just
Grogu,
like,
too,
huh.
he can't lug around big, heavy Beskar armor.
Oh, no,
like
yeah.
it's gonna have to be the.
I
Best
want
guy's
to see
extremely
Grogu
light
grown
for
up
him.
like a little. I
It's-
mean, you know, he'll still
Best
be
guy's
like a
true.
baby,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I want him to be a little
Yeah.
more like physically able.
Yeah.
He kind of just
Right.
like waddles around.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think it'll look more
Yeah.
like almost like a fabric chainmail to a certain degree with the way.
Yeah, that's what I'm guessing. That's what I'm
uh,
picturing.
I'm
but-
Thinking
Yeah,
of
I-
Mithril from Lord of the Rings. I don't
Are we-
know.
Yeah,
are
that's
we
it.
thinking
That's
like
it.
it's
Exactly it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Are we
right.
thinking like a cloak, or are we thinking like a shirt?
I think a cloak. I think a cloak.
I think a cloak.
Oh, oh.
Yeah, with his.
And he'll have the little Mandalorian. He still has that, right? The necklace.
Yeah, he's
Believe
Yes.
so. Yeah, he
Yeah.
took it.
Right.
He
Yeah,
took it
yeah,
at the
yeah.
end of
Yeah.
Right.
Mando. Yeah.
Do
He
we
has the
see
Mythosaur
that
necklace.
now, or will we see that? Do we think that he's going to come back with Grogu though, or do we think that Grogu is not going to be seen till?
I think
Mandalorian?
Grogu's dead.
No,
I don't
Grogu's
think
gonna
Grogu-
stay. I think
No,
Mando
but
he
is
said
just
he wants
dropping
to
in
be a
say what's
visit.
up. He's
He
dropping
said
in to
yeah.
say what's up.
I don't know. He said he wants to see him, but the question is, we're going back to the Boba Fett story next week. Do we think there's going to be a whole?
I think that.
I
think that
Hold on. This goes back to
Well-
Levi's conversation at the beginning, though, doesn't it? Yeah.
We're
That's
not
I
the
think that-
thing. That's
I
the
think
thing
that.
with it.
I think that maybe Boba will go with them. Is what I'm
Yeah.
thinking. Because
Okay,
I think
well,
maybe.
Stop! You're gonna make. I'm just gonna start.
Okay, fine.
Yeah,
Fine.
yeah,
Let's
yeah.
go.
But no.
So he
So,
take-
but I do want to talk about the Grogu thing. So I
Oops.
don't
sorry.
know if he's gonna take him back because it's like
He
the
can't
whole
take him
thing,
back.
with the,
Oh, he
with the
can't
story
take him
fight.
back. No, he
But
wants
they-
to take him
they-
back.
There's
But he wants
there's
to visit
space
him.
for him in
Yeah.
Mando's ship now. It's just like I don't know.
That's
That-
for the.
Oh,
long run,
yeah.
I think.
I think
down
that's.
the way.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're going to make us wait
Okay.
for that.
Yeah, but he
I
didn't
don't
say.
know.
You're right
Anyways.
about that. But he didn't say in that conversation with the armorer that he wanted to take him back. He just said, "I wanted to see how he's doing." He just
Right.
wants to check up on
Yeah,
him.
check it out.
So,
And
however,
give him the little
I
gift.
feel like that, but that was setting up
Yeah.
again.
however,
a-
we
a
do have the
eventual-
conversation between them about how the Jedi and Mandalorian creeds are like the opposite of each other, which
Yep.
further reinforces
That was
to me
cool.
the point that Grogu, being both a Mandalorian and a Jedi, will be like the new Tar Vizsla of 1,000 years later. You know,
Mhm.
he is
Yeah.
he
Oh, that's
will
so cool.
he is like the ultimate foundling
Yeah.
Star Wars
Yeah.
is cool, man.
Entity.
Star Wars is
Yeah.
pretty
Who
cool.
would have
I'm not
thought?
gonna
Who
lie
would
to
have thought?
you.
Yeah.
Who would have thought 10 years ago this is what potentially could happen?
Yeah.
Me, I
No
would-
one. You know
I would
why?
say.
Because 10 years
Yeah.
ago we were literally watching
Yeah.
Pre-Vizsla get his head
Clone
cut off.
Yeah.
I know with the dark
Yeah.
saber, and now it's in
Yeah.
freaking
Darksaber,
live
I
action.
know.
Yep.
I know.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
That's-
insane.
I know.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Crazy.
so he takes
then-
he takes a one-way flight to Tatooine.
He's
Because
out.
Yashimata-
talk
Oh,
about,
oh,
like,
He's,
the
he's out, but no,
weapons
but
being
he's
put in
he's
the
out of the
crate?
covert now. He's out of
Yeah.
the covert now.
Yeah,
That's
the
the
armor
difference,
is like
too.
you took off your
Yeah.
helmet.
I
that's
know.
all.
You're done. You're done.
Come
Get
on.
out.
We've
Yeah,
been
I
calling him
just, like-
Mando. No one's gonna.
Yeah.
He's Mando. He's a
No,
Mandalorian. That's
Oh, yeah.
nonsense.
There was some
That
really
leaves
good
two
acting
people.
by Pedro Pascal in that scene because, like, you could
Yeah.
tell almost that. I mean, just from his voice, that like
Yeah.
he wasn't necessarily like ashamed of taking his helmet off.
Right. Yeah.
Like I think
Yeah.
he still stands by what he did. Like he knows
Yeah,
that it was the right
totally,
choice.
Right.
Yeah,
It was to
it's
get. It was
impressive
to
he
help
was able
Grogu,
to,
and
like,
then it was also to
totally
see
show all
Grogu.
that just the voice acting. But like you
Right.
could tell that
Mhm.
he was like
Right.
hesitant to answer because he knew what
No.
the like punishment. would
Oh
be.
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
But
Totally.
it's still he's like he stands by it. And
Right. But I also, yeah, he wasn't gonna lie about it. He totally could have just lied, but he didn't.
He couldn't
was
have,
like,
yeah.
yeah,
By
He's
vow.
a- he's-
I did take my helmet
he's
off,
one
but
of
I.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then so yeah,
I kinda
then
wanted
he's on
to-
Tatooine,
Yeah.
and then we
Well,
see
actually,
we
before
see
that,
This,
yeah.
Who, I was going to say, just on that transportation flight, who had the kind of gut feeling he was going to open the box and the dark
That's
saber
what,
was going to be
that's what
gone?
we all
He
said in
was
the
freaking
reaction.
Yeah,
out
I
about
did
it.
too. I did too.
I was like, they bet.
Yeah.
I was gonna be like
Yeah.
mad. I was like, they better not do
yeah,
that.
No, they
yeah,
would-
yeah.
Yeah.
Because
It was
Yeah.
like
It was
Pirates
just
3.
kind of a weird.
It was like the
beat. I
beginning
think
of
it was
Pirates
just played.
3.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
played for
I-
like
it was
last.
just
Yeah.
for
I'm
last, but I
glad
also
they
thought it was
didn't. I'm glad they
cool-
didn't. Yeah.
I
yeah,
thought it was
that
cool
would have been
character
a
progression.
boring.
It's like, look how kitted out this guy is now. Like, not that he
Yes,
wasn't in the beginning. Of
Oh,
season
yeah,
one, but
yeah.
He
He
has
lost
so
the
that-
much
spear
more.
though.
That was
It
the real
the spear.
takeaway from
he
that
doesn't
scene
have
was
the
the
spear
fact that
anymore either.
we got
But he
the
doesn't
kid
need it
there,
anymore.
the
I
front
mean,
seat.
he's got the
No,
dark saber.
I think
Darksaber's
Ultimate-
a more
I love the
noble
spear.
weapon.
Yeah,
I
no,
love
I love the spear too. I think Ultimate
Oh, yeah.
Mando forever will be when he had the dark saber and the spear at the same
No,
time.
Yes,
Lightsaber,
absolutely.
jetpack.
coolest.
Walking,
That is the
walking into
coolest.
that meat chef.
Oh, that is like that
place.
will
was-
be the
that was
coolest
great.
Mandalorian look.
Yeah,
It is interesting
totally.
that the armor is like, yeah, we don't make weapons out of these, but what are the whistling birds then? Are they
Yeah.
Well, they're
I
like
guess
part of
it's
the
like
armor though.
an extension
Yeah,
of
but
the
that's
armor?
that's
Extension,
different.
yeah.
That's different. That's
'Cause
different.
it's
Same
it's
with
in
the what's
Yeah,
it
if
called?
it's
The
part of the
grapple,
armor,
the rope.
grapple.
grapple
Yoda
hook, yes.
could
I
grapple
feel
hook,
like if
yes.
it's part of the
Yeah.
armor, it doesn't count as a.
I think the difference though is that those little things are actually Beskar, whereas like the flamethrower or something is its own. I don't know. I'm nitpicking here. This is a comment on our
Yeah.
reaction that I actually responded to the same way
I
you
the
just.
s- I think
Uh-huh.
the
I'm just
spear
playing
is-
a devil's
is-
advocate
is-
here.
is a little different, but anyways. but
Also, I don't know. I
he-
don't know if the whistling birds can pierce Beskar. The whole problem that she had with the spear was that
that
it
it
can
could
pierce
pierce-
Beskar
yeah,
because it's super
yeah.
pure, and that
Yeah.
was the problem with it. And
Yeah.
like the dark saber, the crystal in there, like we still don't know what kind of crystal that Tar Vizsla used, but only
Yeah, I
the
wonder-
hilt is Beskar. It's not. That's
wonder
like,
if they'll
and that's-
ever
it's not
open it
like the
up.
blade.
I wonder if
Yeah.
they'll ever open.
But
it up
also,
and we'll see
I
the
feel like the
crystal.
rules
That'd be
the
cool.
rules didn't really apply to Tar Vizsla because he was both Mandalorian and Jedi, and he was like, "Screw
Yeah.
this, I'm doing
But
my
that's
own
also
thing."
just
Yeah.
the hilt too.
Oh, yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
literally that's the equivalent to the armor piece. You know.
I don't know.
Like,
To me, it tied in well with Rebels and Sabine because Sabine felt all that guilt
Oh, yeah.
for making
Oh, this
the
was
Duchess.
this was an episode for
Yes.
the Rebels fans
And,
and,
like,
the
Yeah,
fans.
yeah.
Like she literally got
so
excommunicated from
good.
Mandalore because she made a weapon
Yeah.
that targeted Beskar, and
Yeah.
so this idea that Beskar is like sacredly armor and not like should be used in the weapon side of things, I think that holds true.
Do we think Sabine's ever going to feel then guilty about handing
Oh my God,
over
yeah.
the
Oh my
weapon?
God,
You know,
yeah,
that's going to
Sabine-
be a great play.
Sabine,
That was the rest of
Sabine's
the that
just
was the
the
rest
rest
of
Yeah,
the
that's a
world.
good point.
Yeah,
actually.
yeah, that's gonna play
that
into
blood is
Ahsoka.
almost like on
Yeah.
her hands.
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
might be why at the end
Everything.
of Rebels
Well,
she is so because she stays on Lothal and
Yep.
Mandalore falls apart
Yeah.
and she wants to just go find Ezra because Ezra is the only thing
Mhm.
she has left to like
Yes.
go
Yep.
do because she
Yeah.
tried to
God,
save
I'm so
Mandalore.
excited
Yeah,
for
yeah.
She
that,
tried to
dude.
save Mandalore
Yeah.
and
Well,
it did not
it
go
would
well.
make sense for Sabine to be in Mando season 3, but
Yeah.
I think she could
No,
be.
I'm
I
saying
think-
Ahsoka.
Yeah, I
I'm
hope
saying
so.
we
I
know
hope
she's
so.
in
to
it.
No,
God
but
she's in
it's-
Mando season 3.
yeah, just
Yeah.
I mean, she's
feels
been
like it.
cast.
I
She's
know,
Been, she's been
so-
cast.
Yeah.
Like we have an
Listen,
actor.
There was a
cast.
full episode of The Mandalorian in the Book of Boba Fett. I think they're going crazy with the like cameos and these crossovers and stuff.
Yeah, I
so-
guess
Oh,
now
sure,
we can
yeah.
have like
Ahsoka
whatever.
might
Crazy
be
in a
little
good way.
different
I'm
because they're
loving
going-
this.
Yeah, no, in the best way possible.
Oh,
But Ahsoka
absolutely.
could
Mando
also
gets an episode
maybe
in every single
Yeah.
show.
Yeah.
It's because his show paved the way for all the other
Andor.
ones.
Yeah.
He gets
I mean,
some
it is
Kenobi.
he gets to pop up for
Kenobi.
one ep.
Kenobi,
Fan dub the
Kenobi,
Mandoverse.
Kenobi,
There you go.
yeah, Kenobi episode 4 is just about a kid Mando, like teenage Mando.
Yeah, that's it. Yes.
Doctor
The whole thing.
Strange is going to send Mando back
They
in time.
better not.
And we know him by his
any
music.
of Kenobi.
And we know him
No,
by his
Kenobi's not in
music
the
score.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he goes to Tatooine because
Tatooine.
Pelimato has gotten.
BD.
Yeah,
So
so
BD.
there's a lot
It's a
going on.
BD
'cause-
droid.
So Johnny,
People, it's
Johnny,
not BD1. It's not.
It's not BD1.
Yeah.
It could be, though.
Every time we
It's
see
not.
an R2 unit, you know, it's not
Yeah.
like
It's not.
It's not
It's different color than the canon.
every
is
time we
really.
see
Yeah.
a protocol
Yeah.
droid, it's not.
Well,
that
technically, you could
C-3PO.
customize it in the game.
Yeah,
but
I'm saying that there's a canon version.
the
of
base
Canon
this.
is the
base
red,
version,
right?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, red and white.
So,
yeah.
a lot of
Yep.
people not a fan of Pelimato, the character, Amy Sedaris. I love Pelimato.
I could do
Johnny
without her,
doesn't-
but she was
She
fine.
doesn't bother me, but this is the best performance she's
Yeah,
given.
I love
in the
Pelimato.
3 or
And
4
this
times
scene-
we've seen her. Yeah.
This scene,
Yeah.
In fact,
I'm
she
part-
gets a
I'm
little-
partly
She
joking,
gets a
but-
little bit bitter, I think, every single
I know.
episode.
this scene
I
with the,
agree.
with the
Season.
Womp Rat,
Because-
I think is so funny to me because for the longest time, we've always pointed out these little creatures and being like, "Is that a Womp Rat? Is that a Womp Rat?" And so it's
Yeah.
been like, "No, that's not a Womp Rat." But
They're vicious.
Luke says that a Womp
Yeah.
Rat is like 2 meters. It's
2
no bigger than
meters.
2 meters.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
2 meters, that's like 6 feet, man. A Womp
Yeah.
Rat is
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah.
So like
This was
the
still a
fact that-
baby. It was only like 3
Yeah.
feet
So,
big.
Yeah.
so like the fact that
Yeah.
it's like this beast, I think it's funny because like I never thought about like holy crap, like 2 meters, that's like
Yeah.
the size of a human, and that's a rat.
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
We did see
It's a
one.
And it was
massive
strong
rat.
enough to
Lego Star
pull
Wars.
on her leg
Yeah, they
and
were
pull
talking
it back.
I know that
That
too. I
those
was
things
like,
are-
whoa.
These little buggers are strong.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because I think
Did
they
you
are
or did you
vulnerable,
also notice the one little thing I noticed? It was a beautiful little touch. Was that the moment that BD stepped out from behind the crate after being pulled back there, he's actually limping.
He's limping
right,
like the game.
his right,
Yeah.
mechanical leg is like got a busted area in there. It's like, oh my god, that's so adorable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
What if Cal just walked out? What's up?
No way. Stop.
dude,
Book of Boba
guys,
fans?
Cal is not going to be in live action.
Yeah,
I don't
Ever-
think it's.
Maybe one day.
I
Maybe after
no,
Fallen
one
Order
day
2.
it's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
Dude, they have
It's
an
going to
actor
happen.
that plays it.
It's
Oh.
gonna happen.
They
That's
haven't
totally-
even
and he's a
told his
great
full
actor.
story yet.
I know.
Don't-
Not yet. No, not
They-
yet. I couldn't
they
agree
had
with
a
you more.
second game-
There's absolutely no way he shows
Oh
up.
yeah, it's not
Sebastian
happening.
Stan, Sebastian Stan is Cal Kestis.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Oh
I
yeah.
will,
I-
for,
Oh,
I
Johnny.
will forever,
Give
I'll
it
forever make fun of Johnny.
Maybe
Depp.
5 years, he'll be in his show.
Maybe.
Hmm.
All right. Anyway,
I don't know. I
so
think
A
it's-
long time. A long
let's
time.
let's
Anyways.
I
speed
think
run
sooner.
this. N1 Starfighter.
We
Holy
see the
crap.
Starfighter. Like
Yeah.
that was.
That thing is beautiful.
And Johnny was absolutely correct. I have to give credit to Johnny. The chromed out N1.
It
That
had
is the
to be
thing-
chromed out.
that
It's
is what he
Mando,
said.
man.
That
Yeah.
is that is what he said.
Yeah.
It's a Mando, man. Can you
It
believe
makes
it was
sense.
yellow?
Yeah, it
I would
makes
love
sense.
it, but it's
Yeah.
not Mando. You know.
It's,
I know it's
that was
It actually-
interesting for me
oh,
because
that's so
I
good.
loved the scene,
Yeah.
like of
Yeah, his
them
yellow
fixing
accent,
it up.
so okay, like.
But
Yeah,
it
which
would have
is the-
been a better like reveal, I think, if we just like they just showed like it's straight up N1. Like,
Oh
it's
no,
prime.
I love the journey
No, I did
of
too, but like
I like the
the
moment
montage
of,
of
like,
putting
the-
it
like,
together.
I feel like the
I thought it
reveal
dragged
was a
on a
little
little bit.
underwhelming.
It
'cause
felt
we
it
were,
felt
like,
more earned.
It
too,
looked
with
all
that,
like taken
Yeah.
apart. And we're like, oh okay, it looks cool.
I like 'cause it felt
Yeah.
earned. I liked
this-
it. I liked it. But anyways.
Seeing
Yeah,
itself.
I can,
was awesome.
yeah, I understand where Dylan's coming from, where it did drag out a little bit, but it's like it was beautifully dragged out in my
Yeah,
opinion.
I love
I loved every moment. I
Look
loved
at
every frame.
Look at
The
it.
moment that again,
Ah.
yeah, that's it. Oh, it's a beautiful,
So cool. It's
it's
so
beautiful.
cool.
So
design, yeah.
cool.
I like the like exposed engine.
Brent, do you want to
Yeah.
talk
Yeah,
about
yeah. Oh,
your?
yeah.
Okay, so quick.
Oh, good.
Can
Yeah.
you pull that image back up? Just a quick fun Easter
Yeah,
egg.
sure.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
it's fun that the X-wing that the guy who plays Luke Skywalker looks
Is
kind of
it?
like Red 5. I think
Red
it
Fire
is-
completely. That was
Yeah.
my other note.
Yeah, I think
To
that's
his
a fun little
helmet?
detail.
Yeah, no,
his
I-
helmet and the actual color of his wing. Yeah,
I couldn't tell if it was him at first, but then I was like, okay, yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's him,
yeah.
which is cool. That was a cool nod.
With Mando's
Yeah.
ship, I love the exposed
Yeah.
parts. Like
Mhm.
that
Dude,
they
it literally
nor-
perfect.
Normal
I don't
nipples
have
don't
any-
be fun of.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's.
I'm-
Grogu pod
Like
is
even
so
even
sick.
having that
I-
model
yeah.
of the ship back.
It's the
in-
equivalent
back
Oh,
of
yeah.
like an old
timeline.
like Mustang or like
Yeah.
an old like
yeah,
Challenger.
yeah.
there it
So
is.
Brent, why don't you share with the class?
Brent,
what
do you
you're
want to
doing?
share with the class?
The first reaction I had when I saw that episode, and it's on our reaction video that
I'm
we did,
making a model.
was I'm going to be making this model, and I'm not just going to make it as a small model. I am going to make this in scale to the 12-inch Dinjarin I've got of the Hot Toys, and so this thing I
So-
figured out by
That's
the
what I
time
like
I
to
finish
hear.
this, it's going to be about 46 inches long, roughly. By the time
It's
I
gonna be
finish.
huge if you're. if it's
So
scaled
that's
to
just under
Hot Toys,
4
yeah.
feet. So, but that is pretty close to scale. The thing I've been discovering is I've been looking at this model all day. The model itself is different than the actual full size
the
one.
original?
I got the chance to see the full size original actual ship. They had it on display in the Smithsonian around the year 2000 when I was traveling through there
That's so
in
cool.
Washington D.C. And to
Wow.
see this thing in full size, it's 36 feet long, but it's incredible. But the actual miniature model is slightly longer and a different form. And the one that we've seen in Mandalorian is also this weird in between blend because the distance of his shoulder pads was widened out by the look of it, from what I could tell in the version in Boba Fett there in Book of Boba Fett, because they had to fit him in without his shoulder pads sticking out, and that's my dilemma right now. The action figure, the shoulder pads are wider than the size of the cockpit, so I'm trying to figure out this in between where I have to cheat the cockpit a little wider. But I'm going to be doing this. I'm going to actually video it and develop it. And
Good.
go through
I
the-
would love to see a series on it.
Yeah, it'd be
That's
fun.
very exciting.
Can we get a
I'm
round of
excited
applause
for
for
that.
Brent in the chat for building, actually building?
Well, it's not
Well,
built yet.
I haven't built it yet.
He
but
hasn't
I'm going
built
to do
it
that.
yet.
The fact
It
that he's
may take-
planning to build it is cool.
It may take
It'll
a few
take a
months
while,
because
right?
between work
Yeah.
and this and that. I will figure out bits and pieces, but I do want to make this. I want to 3D print the parts,
That'd be crazy.
and if it all works, I'll put it out there and do
I love
development.
it. I love it.
Anyway,
I love it.
So that was
And
sidetracked.
a fun detail too is that the Razor Crest actually had those yellow accents on it, and
Yeah.
so the
And
N1
they
having the
imported
same,
it to the.
yeah, that
Yeah.
has the same kind of
Yeah.
yellow accent. I love that. I
Yeah.
love that.
Well,
It feels
could
like
you?
a successorship.
Yeah, I haven't had a good close look yet. Was that actually some sort of language, or was that just where he didn't scratch the yellow off on the top of the wings? It seemed like the top of the wings have got something that's a pattern rather than an actual physical. I couldn't tell if it was.
Can we look at a
was he-
picture?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but you can't see.
Oh,
You can only
see.
see it from the top view.
Yeah, I
it's-
can only see
But it's
it.
on the
Let me
front
another
wings. I haven't zoomed into that part yet. I haven't got to that detail, but I'll be
I
looking at
was guessing it was just like the same
Yeah, I thought it was
paint
just
that
some
just wasn't
scratches,
taken
yeah.
off.
Right. Yeah,
I don't know.
but
I
it's,
don't know.
it's the same either side. It's the
part of his
same amount of
design.
space. It's
I
just
think
not
it's part of
clean-
his design. I think he just liked
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he might have just like part of it naturally, naturally Anyway, it was.
Brent,
it was
did you
something I
order
noticed.
the Hasbro Razor Crest? Did
No.
you get that?
I did not. I
No.
chose.
This guy is hot toy
kind of-
exclusive, Johnny.
Yeah.
He's moved on. He's descended
Yeah.
beyond us.
I-
He's beyond
yeah.
Hasbro.
That's true.
He makes
Yes.
real
Because-
adult money.
Because if I did actually want to build a hot toy scale, I realized it'd be about 9 feet long. For the
It would be
actual
if
Razor Crest.
you built the
I
Razor
do
Crest,
not
then
have
you
the
would,
room for a 9-foot space
Yeah.
in my living room.
Totally.
Might as well just build the
You
real
know, like
spaceship.
hide it, hang it from your ceiling.
Yeah.
You walk in and see the like.
Yeah.
So this is Dimes asked a good
Museum.
question.
Anyways, yeah.
Hmm.
but-
Is this in your top 5 Mando episodes or just in general?
Can we
Yeah.
say it?
Yeah.
We're
Yeah,
saying it's a Mando
absolutely.
episode, so yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's easy.
100%. This
Absolutely.
might be a top 3.
Levi, this
Yeah,
might be a
I don't know
you
about
question.
that.
Yeah, I gotta agree. It's in the top 3. It really is.
Really?
It's
It
really
had
good.
so- they were really good.
It's
I don't
really
think
good,
it's a
man.
bad opinion, but I don't.
My top 3 would be like
Every
tragedy.
Yeah.
Bo-Katan,
Season 2, episode 3.
Uh-huh.
What is that called? That was the
It's
in
Which
the
one?
Ahsoka episode.
The Bo-Katan
Well,
episode, yeah.
Bo-Katan. So
Yes,
it's
but
But not. But I'm thinking about season 1 though too. I gotta think about season.
Season 1 had some
Um,
bangers.
Season 1, episode
Yeah.
8.
none of
is
none of the
definitely
season
best.
season 1 ones make it up there for me. They're all good, but
I
they all
agree.
get
Yeah,
outclassed.
they're all
Like, they all
good.
get
but
outclassed.
Yeah, I
like-
agree.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
The Eras
Bo-Katan
definitely had the
had-
most.
I think
build-
definitely
Ahsoka
top
at- this
5.
is
I'll say
tragedy.
top 5.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
gotta think
And,
about.
oh yeah, and then
Yeah,
it would be
the-
this
the-
episode and
yeah.
then the
The
finale
Jedi.
of season 2. That's my top
See,
5.
For me, it's The
Mm.
Believer. I love that Rick
Yeah.
Famuyiwa episode. It's The Believer.
Yeah,
Then it's probably The Jedi, and then this.
Definitely underrated.
I'm going to go with the Jedi because Ahsoka Tano just for me number 1. The Heiress and this episode, and then again the season finale with Luke was amazing.
Yes.
But there were moments in there
My good friend Carter.
that were
I
getting
agree.
to A to B that didn't fill in a lot. I mean, it had
No.
This episode had so much filling in. Every minute there was something new or something
Yeah.
Yeah,
brought up that was important and key
100%.
all the way
Can I-
through, and it didn't drag. Yeah,
Can I blow your guys' minds real quick?
Blow
Yeah,
on my
weird.
mind.
Do
go
it.
for it.
Yeah, the N
Oh,
ones
it's
are.
yellow. It's yellow. Never mind. It's yellow.
Yeah, there are N ones in
Yeah,
Rise of Skywalker.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I couldn't
Yeah,
see it on my other
So-
screen, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's yellow.
Did you, for a
So-
second, were you like, "Was
Yeah.
that Mando ship?"
Yeah.
Well, because I just looked up Naboo
That's
Starfighter
funny.
Rise of Skywalker because I was like, whoa, maybe he was
Mhm.
there. But
So this is
No,
a
obviously
little,
they
this is
don't
a
have
little
that
side
short
note.
Yeah.
So we know that at some point in season 3 he's going in Naboo. So I wonder if it's.
Do we know that?
We do know that?
Starfighter related.
I think-
there was a leak.
I think people no, because I think the leak
Think-
was about this, and people
Mm.
assumed that they were going to Naboo and Mando season 3, but it ended up that they were
Right.
building all
I
the
thought it was.
best
a
I
buzz
think they
and
will
this
because
set.
they've
Yeah.
been following
Boba
the
Fett.
Aftermath books,
Yeah.
and I think we're gonna see Jar Jar and Naboo. I'm like making this
I-
prediction right here.
I
Wait
think
until
we're
season
going.
3.
Yeah.
We are gonna
Okay.
see Jar Jar. I don't. I like that's a 95% chance.
I feel like that's. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna see Jar Jar.
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
take you guys back,
Oh.
all of the
Yeah.
reports that you're referencing around Black Chrysanthemum, the
Mhm.
bikes, actually the Vespas were referenced, and the N1 Starfighter were way back in December 2020, and they thought
Yep.
all those reports thought it was for Mando season 3.
And
All
it
of
was
that
really
stuff
bothered. Yeah.
was Book of Boba. So
Yeah.
I don't know about Naboo. I think they probably just
Yeah.
assumed because they saw
I-
the Starfighter.
Yeah.
But I thought it was.
I
I
so.
thought it was the set.
I don't want to rule out
I
Naboo
thought it-
though.
Naboo is
That
my
doesn't-
second
Yeah,
favorite.
I
Star
thought
I
it
Wars.
just,
was
I just
a
don't
set.
see what
Yeah.
Naboo has to do as an importance in the Mandalorian story. There's nothing on Naboo that's related to
Yeah.
Mandalore whatsoever.
Yeah, I'm with Brent.
So I don't know.
100%
Yeah,
with Brent.
yeah.
Yeah, he has to go get.
Hey,
Jar
you
Jar.
never know. He's
I mean, it'd be
also-
cool to
Yes,
see.
Jar Jar.
I want to see Naboo.
He went to
but
Tatooine, and we
with
didn't
no
think that
reason.
had anything to do.
Oh,
with
okay,
the
okay.
story.
Yeah.
I think they can find a reason for
Let's
him
keep
to go to
let's
Naboo.
keep talking about the
sure.
content of the. Let's keep talking about the content of the ep. His flight
Yep.
through Beggars Canyon
The
is
sound design. The sound design. of the ship.
Beautiful. It's so
Sound
good.
design
Yeah,
of the
the
ship.
sound of that ship was awesome.
Oh,
So
this
many
is
episode
pod
1
race.
references in this episode.
The
Mhm.
shot.
Like they're talking
Oh,
about
yeah.
the Queen
No,
Naboo.
this is
they're
pod
talking
racing.
about Beggars
Oh yeah, yeah,
Canyon.
Absolutely.
Take it
He
back
says
another step.
wizard. That's a direct
Yeah.
episode.
Yes.
Take it back
Wizard.
another step.
Wizard.
Take
Yeah.
it back to the montage. It may have run long, but the amount
That
of
was a wizard
references
moment.
they
Mm.
reference. She says it's as
Mm.
fast as a father, which is a sequel
Yep.
reference. She talks about the Galactic Republic. She talks about commission for the Queen of Naboo, like referencing all of
The-
these
She
things.
The
also mentions
Jawas,
the
the Jawas
And
alone
then,
were
yeah,
just a
the
great.
Jawas
yeah.
having this
Yeah.
Jawa thing, which was like a funny bit. But
Yeah.
then there's expositional dialogue that I think a lot of people are glossing over about how
Yeah.
the Pikes are coming into
Yep.
the system.
Oh, yeah.
The new Republic is having a hard time ignoring it,
Mhm.
and like
Yeah.
there's something else going on. Because
Yeah.
the second I was hearing this conversation where she said,
Yeah.
ever since the Pikes got here, things have
Yeah.
gone to hell. They're funneling
Yeah.
spice through,
Yeah.
but like
Mhm.
I gotta think,
And-
why though? Like,
Yep.
why are the Pikes so obsessed with Tatooine? There's something else going on.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
there's
that
someone
was a
above them,
moment
man. There's a bigger
I
fish.
thought
There
they
has.
could've
There
included
literally
Boba
has to
in
be.
the episode.
And it's
I
definitely
think
off world.
like
It's,
just-
it's
And
off
also,
world for
things
sure.
have changed since this
Yeah.
new guy took over the crime
Yeah.
scene. They
Right,
could have
right.
mentioned him. It's
Yeah.
called the Book of Boba Fett, after all.
Well, I
Yeah.
think they sort of do at the end. I love the coda at the end
This is
of
true.
when the Mandalorian saying
Hmm.
Boba Fett ? And you hear like Boba's theme play like through Mando's theme again.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like the respect that this guy has for the other one, and he's so powerful now. Like he's at this
Yeah.
point where he sent Fennec like just to go like, hey, come work with us. And he goes, it's on
Mm.
the house, and it's like, ugh, I'm just
On
like, I
the
want to
house.
Yeah.
Like, it
Fennec's
makes me
entrance was awesome, by the way.
it makes me excited
Yeah.
about Boba when I'm hearing Boba's theme and these two characters talking about this character, because the show is ultimately still about him. And this episode was establishing Din's relationship again
Yeah.
to Boba and why he would come back. And like that
Right.
camaraderie, I cannot wait to see them together kicking ass. Ah,
Yeah.
Fennec's entrance felt very Bad Batch. I mean, it's pretty much the same scene.
Yeah.
but-
Oh yeah.
She's
It
getting
really
that
was,
now.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It
He was
great.
locked out by
Yeah.
Pelly, but nope, she
Yeah.
still got in.
I love that.
All right.
The-
Is it about that time?
You can talk about it, Johnny. Go ahead.
Wait,
Talk
he gets
all
pulled
you
out.
want.
Yep.
Oh, he kind of.
Yeah. We can.
Okay.
Go. Oh yeah. We saw Carson Teva again, which is super cool.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
forgot about that,
And
you're right.
that whole and Max Lloyd Webber, or Max Lloyd joins,
Yeah.
and he's talking about Imperial remnants and on Navarro, and he's putting together dots. Like that's still a plot line going on, and I thought that was
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah.
Right.
That'll definitely be continued. which
And then
I'm
Mando
excited
just
about.
outruns them, which he couldn't do before in the Razor Crest.
Yes.
Dude,
You know,
that thing.
he can't
That thing.
just
Oh
move.
my god, dude.
At speed. That was. Oh.
It's
Only
funny how
problem
he
is
keeps
you
getting
can't
pulled
sleep
over
in
too.
it. So.
That's
Yeah,
what-
well,
he's
You
reckless.
could, it probably wouldn't be very comfortable. Yeah. I mean that also brings up the question is I mean if he has to do any jobs, it means he can't really store anybody anywhere. He can't take any bounties back with him. Not in that ship at least.
Yeah, I know.
Sounds
Yeah, I wonder. 'Cause that's, I mean,
Well,
like
he's-
he like
again,
lived
I
in
don't
the
think he's
Razor Crest,
bounty
so it's
hunting
just
much
like
anymore. So.
No, I don't think so either. Which is also interesting
Yeah.
because it's going the same. Yeah, it's the
well,
same.
no, but he
parallels to
also
Boba
like
Fett.
he also like lived in the
Yeah.
Razor Crest, so it's just,
Yeah,
He's
no,
in a
totally.
palace now, huh?
Sure.
he can't like live in a Naboo starfighter now. So
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
I wonder.
Or he
I don't know. He
All
could,
do you wanna
I
hear my-
guess.
Do you want to hear my
I
epic
wonder-
prediction?
Sure,
For the
Dylan,
next
epic
episode.
prediction before.
Yep.
All right. I don't think this is gonna happen, but I would.
Yeah.
This
The
would be good.
floodgates open.
Oh, is this
Mando
what you were,
Boba.
hold on. Is this what you were talking about earlier?
Yeah.
This is nuts. But yeah, go ahead. Listen to this.
Okay,
Listen to
all
this.
right.
Mando. Well, I don't think
Timer.
it's that nuts, but Mando and Boba
Mhm.
leave for, let's say, Takadana, whatever. I'm talking about when they get back. The Pikes have staked their claim on the palace, and Cad Bane is sitting on the throne, and that's what
Oh, that's cool. I like that.
That'd be
That's cool.
Cad
I think-
Bane
No, like-
on the throne.
Yeah.
Listen,
I
like,
think-
I don't think.
I-
I don't think.
you
I
think
don't
the
think he.
Pikes have hired Cad Bane, or you think that
I don't
Crimson
think. I don't
Dawn
think.
has
I don't
hired?
see. I don't see Cad Bane like wanting to take the throne.
I don't
We
see
don't know where he's at. I
Boba.
don't know, but like he might be
leaving
looking to
Tatooine.
replace the
Very
Boba
unlike
right now.
him.
I mean,
Yeah.
Cad Bane is
Yeah.
old. Like
Yeah.
he's very
Yeah,
old
yeah,
at this
yeah.
point.
Absolutely.
But why?
Yeah.
But why Tatooine, guys? That's the question I gotta ask. I think it's more about Boba.
Yeah, but like
The
why?
Huts say we don't. Even though I think the Huts are lying,
Yeah.
they're like, and this has always been established in canon. Tatooine is not even in Hut space.
Yeah.
It's this out of the
Yes,
way
yes,
place.
yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
It's the farthest thing.
Yeah.
And so for the Pikes to be now running spice here of all places, I'm thinking like maybe it's Crimson Dawn or
But
someone else.
ask
Whoever's
yourself,
maybe the
like,
Pikes. They
why
want to come for
Jabba?
Boba.
Yeah.
They want to kill Boba, man. They like. I think they want
but why
Boba.
Jabba?
get
Why
him.
did Jabba want to
Yeah.
be on Tatooine if that's the case?
Because Jabba
Like
just was hanging out.
obviously there's
It was-
something
Yeah.
For
desirable about
Jabba,
Tatooine.
well, for
in
Jabba,
terms
it was
there
like
was
his
making
vacation
money.
spot. Like it was
But-
Jabba's
Yeah.
place to just go
since
do
it's
whatever.
Outer Rim, it's like out of the reach of the Empire or
Yeah.
now the New Republic.
Yeah.
I mean, but at this point in time, the whole Outer Rim is out of the reach of the New Republic.
Yeah.
Like their territory is nowhere near as large as the Galactic Empire was.
Right.
And
Although they spend a lot of time near Tatooine, don't they? In that.
Yeah. Well, okay, but
Yeah.
going off of what Dylan was saying, I could see definitely them leaving Tatooine and then them coming back and then seeing that the palace
No,
has been
no,
taken
that's,
over or
that's,
something like
that's
that.
a good.
Yeah.
I
I
and then
like
that could lead into the finale of them taking back
my
the
big
palace.
my big thing is they've established that Boba has left his family and he got back and his family were killed with the Tuskens. I don't think Boba Fett would ever leave that area. I think if he had to send somebody, he would send Fennec Shand off to deal
Yeah.
with getting other recruits. If that's next week, we might be seeing a Fennec Shand episode next week where it's her
But like,
looking
there's
for
only one more
for
episode
people,
of
foot soldiers.
Boba.
I know.
I'm
yeah.
need so
I-
much Boba in the next two
Yeah.
episodes.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty
I'm
positive.
hoping.
I'm pretty
These are both
positive
like
it's gonna be a
hour-long
reason for him
episodes.
to
That's a
leave.
movie essentially.
Yeah, well, this is 52
So,
minutes.
I'll
This
take-
was the longest episode we've had today, right? I think
Right.
51
And I'll
minutes
take
was,
that runtime, but I do want longer.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'll always take longer.
Oh, yeah, always.
Well, now I wonder. I mean, I get. Yeah. What would be Boba's motivation
Yeah,
to
Gibbs.
leave?
But the tragedy twice.
That's
Well,
it.
if,
I
listen,
don't
listen.
think
If
that
Mando's
would.
like, listen,
Oh.
man, I'm gonna go see Luke
I meant to
Skywalker.
write
He might
the,
be able to help you.
The rest
I-
of
Imagine.
5.
Yeah.
Not that I think Luke would
Sorry.
help Boba. I don't think Luke would help Boba.
I don't think
Um,
he would get
but
involved.
I don't know
I
if
s-
he's going to like
yeah.
Takodana or something, and Boba's like, you know what? I could maybe get some muscle there too. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like we're seeing Din go see Grogu, so please give us Boba.
Like
with
he,
it.
Yeah,
like,
what was
but,
the-
like,
the
he needs a bigger
coincidence-
crew.
Yeah.
Like he needs a bigger crew.
yeah.
Like
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is not enough. This is not enough.
Well,
what-
I'm
what he has
worried.
right now.
I'm worried that he did some recruiting off screen,
Mm.
and this would be my biggest issue if it's like, okay, let's say he gets Bosk or someone, and it's like,
Mhm.
wow, you
Yeah,
did
Bosk
that
is just
while we
there.
were looking
Yeah.
at Mando. And-
Yeah.
Well, I gotta.
That's
Okay,
what
I
I'm
just gotta
worried
put
about.
this out into the world. That the rumors, there are rumors. Gibbs was bringing it up last night. That
Hmm.
Bosk, Migs Mayfeld, Grief Karga,
Give us Cobb Vanth, come on.
Bane,
Or
like Cad
characters
Bane,
that
Where's
I
Cobb
thought
Vanth?
we were gonna see.
those
last
are
year.
all characters who are still rumored to be in the show. And now,
Look,
after this
yeah.
episode,
Yeah.
Luke Skywalker, those rumors of Luke Skywalker being
Yeah.
in the show seem pretty darn
possibility now,
pretty
yeah.
possible.
Likely.
Yeah,
to-
absolutely. Yeah.
If this next
Yeah.
episode is like a speed run of
Yeah.
Boba going
Yeah.
in Mando, going and collecting all these people, like take a trip out to get Bosk,
must-
like
it
go
must
find
be.
Cobb
His-
Vanth, go
it must
find
be.
Migs, go find Grief.
Yeah. Here's
Like,
my
That'd
yeah.
be amazing.
My
Minx
big
will do
concern
it.
about them bringing Luke in specifically is that they've already done that before. Luke came in and saved the day already, and to have Luke come in and save the day again.
I don't. But
No,
I
he's
don't
not
think
gonna
he's
save
I
the
think
day.
he's
No,
gonna
he's
keep
not
him
gonna save
down.
the
I
day.
think they might
Yeah.
just go
Yeah.
and see him.
I think
But,
he's
like,
gonna turn
like,
them
How
down.
does Mando know where
Well,
Luke
see
is
him, yes,
anyway?
but I don't think Luke will come to them to help.
No,
I
no,
mean, he
no.
might,
That's a
but
good
I-
point, Dylan. Like we can assume that Mando and Luke have like talked to each other since
Yeah.
the end of season
Yes.
2.
Luke didn't exactly drop his number off though. I guess
No.
it's
That's
different
it.
ways.
Yeah, he didn't, did he? Where
Yeah,
is?
but
where
Luke
is
can get in contact with whoever.
I,
he
I,
wants.
I
Right.
feel
I gotta
that
gotta
definitely
believe that.
It's
I mean,
true.
have some.
Yeah.
But
and
I mean,
China's
like,
bad.
but the thing is, I mean, he's going to see Grogu. Like, that's the
Yeah.
next step, right? So, like, where Grogu is, Luke
Yeah.
is.
Well,
so it's
unless
like
it's a tease
inevitable,
and
right?
like next episode, like
That's
Boba
like what I
Fett,
was
well,
thinking last night. I really think it might just be an excuse to get Mando out of the next episode.
I think so
And then
too.
we'll
And then he
season
comes
three,
up.
episode
Dude,
one.
I
Yeah,
don't think so.
I think. Yeah.
With everything,
I don't want that off
with
screen.
everything
I
that this
don't want
episode
it
is
to
set
be-
up.
No, it
I
wouldn't
do
be
agree with
off-screen.
Gibbs. I agree
This
With
like,
every
Yeah.
think about
Yeah.
Mandalorian season 2 Boba
Yeah.
to like Book of Boba Fett. They like
Mhm.
intertwine. We see
Yeah.
flashbacks, like
Mhm.
Not
flash
this time.
forwards.
Not this time.
Season 3,
Not this
episode
time.
1 of Mando can
episode-
start with that and then
Yeah.
flash forward.
with
the-
everything that this episode is set up,
Yeah.
and plus the rumors that now seem to be all lining up and connecting.
They
Yeah, no,
need
okay.
to
The
take
episode-
Din.
I don't know if I want
For the
ended.
story to move
Nervous.
forward on Boba Fett specifically and Fennec and them getting ready, they need
Well,
to kind of
has to
lose
be in this
Mando for
episode.
at least
Yes.
the
absolutely.
first half or the first 3/4 of
I
this
think,
episode
I think
next
they're
week.
gonna have.
He's
I
gone
think,
for a
I
period
think
of
they
time.
will have this. Need to go to the same place, but for
Yeah,
different
same place.
motives.
Yeah,
Yes, yeah.
It
The
has
episode
to be.
ended. He's talking
It
to
has to
Fennec
be.
Shand, one of
Yeah.
our leads of our show. You know,
Yeah.
our show, the Book of Boba. You know, as we've
yeah.
known
No,
it.
no, it makes
Yeah.
sense.
And
but-
he says, before I go do your thing, we gotta go visit Grogu.
We
And
or
they don't-
he?
and
I
they
think
don't
he
show
said
it.
he.
We said, I know.
says
He said I have
Yeah.
to go see a little friend.
Yes, yeah.
But if
But
he's going to
You
talk
can't
to
just
Donna, I
skip
can
that.
see.
Like, so what? So what? Then he shows up again and is like, oh yeah, I saw Grogu. No.
Yeah.
There,
Yeah,
no
yeah.
way. Them setting
That
it up
could
this
happen.
heavily.
We might
no,
get an
dude.
we might get a
Watch, like,
post credit
the whole
scene.
show.
Yeah.
It might be a post credit scene where we get that little moment. I mean, it'd be nice to see that in the
just-
post credit. I don't
No,
think it's
if
not
that's what
key
we
to the
end up
Boba
seeing
Fett
tomorrow,
story. It's
unless-
not.
I,
Yeah.
but
Unless
I'm
they're going
saying
to the
though,
same
but I'm
place
saying though,
for different
their
reasons.
motives are gonna come together.
Yeah.
Like they're gonna have,
Like,
they're gonna have
in what-
ulterior
how?
motives.
Like, why don't you lay that scenario out for me?
Okay, so
Like, what does
Din?
Boba?
Boba needs to recruit. Din needs to go visit Grogu,
Mhm.
and they're going to Takodana, which is the guess is what is being said.
Yeah, Maz is there. If Maz is there,
and
she
Maz
got-
is
she has
there,
muscle.
and she has connections, and
Yeah,
clearly,
Boba can talk to Maz.
and like
Okay,
I wouldn't
and
be
why
surprised
does
if
Boba,
friggin'
why does
if
Boba
friggin'
go
Bosk
and
was
not
sitting in the
send
back,
one
like-
of the mods or send
Yeah.
Fennec?
Because
Yeah.
he doesn't. He likes walking on his two feet.
Because
He
he-
doesn't buy into the whole
he-
litter
He's not
of
gonna
nonsense.
leave
he likes
to
having
do
a-
this. Like,
he's
I guess
been
he
the
leave
most
to
direct.
do
But
this.
Fennec's
to leave
there.
the safe
He's
place.
been so
yeah.
direct, like with everything so
Yeah.
far. Like I wouldn't see
Yeah.
why he would like not do it.
If he
now.
leaves
I don't know.
Fennec back and the mods and Black Chrysanthemum, I think he would be comfortable enough to
I
leave
just
for like a couple
I'm
hours.
just like nervous. Like I really just don't know if they can pull this off in
I'm-
2 episodes with
I'm
having
gonna-
Luke
I'm
Skywalker
going-
in it.
I am going to quote Ezra Bridger here. There are many paths ahead of me.
Yeah.
We just don't know which path is
Absolutely.
the
The
right one.
multiverse.
And I,
It's
I think
weird.
their
Yeah.
their paths are,
Yeah.
are literally like now
Uh-huh.
the
If
same.
1 week's time
Right.
we are watching Boba
Yeah.
Fett on Takodana talking to Maz Kanata, what what timeline are we in?
Can we get Han
like-
Solo there?
Yes.
Can you just
Okay,
throw
be
him
right
in there
back,
for me?
guys.
we could.
Give us
That's
Han
the
Solo.
ting, Dylan. That's the
us-
ting
give us
with it.
all-
Which,
I want
which
all
then,
of them.
which then means that Dylan is also right because they'll come back and Jabba's palace has been taken over.
Well,
Again,
again,
I
I
don't
don't
think
Pike's
you-
clearly
Yeah.
like that is
Yeah.
established that they own the palace essentially.
Right.
Yeah,
They're like,
yeah,
yo, this is our palace. So
yeah,
I
our
don't know.
territory.
Yeah, I don't know.
I agree with Levi that there's more to Tatooine than
Mm.
we're thinking.
I
Yeah.
think I
Yeah.
agree with that. So, but I do think everything that we're asking for right now is going to
Mhm.
all be converged into one place.
Well, here's
I
the thing. This was
strongly do
originally a
believe that.
9-episode show. Maybe they just combined those last 2-3 episodes into
I think
these 2
I
episodes.
think the
and
9
they're
episode was
long.
nonsense. I think it was originally
think
6 and it became 7.
Yeah, it became
Yeah.
7. They decided to do a Bob. Yeah, they felt it was too long of a wait for Din Djarin and his story to not throw that in. It just
I'm
again,
thinking-
yeah.
It was
Yeah.
2020. It was early 2020. They're in the
Yeah.
middle of shooting
Yeah.
season 2 of Mando, and Mando season 1 just blew up, and they're writing Book of Boba, and they're like,
Yeah.
oh, well, this 6-episode show, we can write in
Mhm.
Din and then make that all
Yeah.
flow together.
Yeah.
And I don't think it.
Yeah,
I-
and
love it.
the whole
the
COVID thing.
amount
We
of
don't know when we're
setup-
going to start shooting either.
Yeah.
The
With the
amount
big
of setup
things,
in this episode alone,
Yeah.
like there's no way that they're going to be like, okay, we'll see
Yeah.
that later. Like this
Yeah.
is so direct into this.
I
story.
feel like
I just-
if this was a non-COVID situation and this was like season 3 of Mandalorian, everything we got in this one episode would have been spread over 3 episodes of the Mandalorian season 3 as background story arc. It felt like they compressed a very tight, very awesome story, feature film worthy in my opinion, of telling this story and make it as impactful as possible.
Dylan pointed out in our reaction that the conversation between all the Mandos in the covert was basically like hey, if you didn't see season 2 of The Mandalorian or you need a refresher, this is how the Jedi interacted with all of our characters here.
Right, exactly.
And like,
to
then it seemed like a nice segue into, and here's Luke Skywalker hanging out with Grogu.
Johnny, do you need to pee?
Yeah,
you look like you need to pee.
It seems like every rumor's been true.
I get excited, but I don't. I'm gonna say it. I think next episode could be some of the best Star Wars stuff we've seen in a very, very long time. I strongly do believe that.
I don't know.
I think it'll be still setting up in place. I think it's converging, but I think
these last 3 episodes of Mando are of Boba Man.
Yeah.
This 5, 6, 7. They've been selling that since before the show started. 5, 6, 7 is
six is gonna. Six
it's
is
Dave
gonna be very
Filoni,
impactful.
Yeah, okay, it's Dave Filoni. Yeah, okay,
yes.
Yeah,
I think
Dave's
we're
last
missing a big piece here.
You're right.
Dave's
Dave.
Dave's last thing was the Jedi, man.
And his progression as being a director, director of the live action shows.
Yeah.
Like say what you will about season 1, like season 2.
The premiere's
I
good.
think one of the best. No, I'm saying his episode.
I know. I'm saying the premiere. He did the premiere, then the Gunslinger, then Chapter 5, then and the premieres.
And then his progression to season 2 with the Ahsoka episode. Obviously, that was like okay, perfect. Now going into Boba.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know, man. It's looking really good. Everything's
all cards
looking really
are on
good
the
right
table.
Now. It's real good right now.
I think it's that right
it's
there.
It's all turning up Cad Bane.
This is the thing with Cad Bane. If Cad Bane is in fact still alive, which it seems like he's going to, because Bad Batch, I don't know why they would have set him up.
They brought him back this year.
For sure.
I don't see any other show like him being introduced in any other show besides this one. Like this has to be it. If he's going to be in live action and be in this era, it has to be this.
Totally.
It has to be this.
Totally.
I don't know.
I'm sure that's basically confirmed.
Especially him and Fennec have a history. Like they've literally fought before, like a very not gruesome, but just like it was a pretty good match. So I want to see it again. I'm just interested. What is Cad Bane interested in?
I just thought about the Fennec fight. The Fennec fight in Bad Batch, like with Cad Bane. Oh my god.
He could be the parallel or the contrast, I guess, to Boba too, where Boba's renounced this, bounty hunter life, and Cad Bane, even in his old age, is still doing it, and he's probably gonna die doing it.
Yeah, he's the old Western guy who's still being the Black Hat Man.
Right. And he's going to die doing exactly what Boba stopped doing.
Johnny, let me blow your mind. What if Han Solo comes back with Boba and he helps?
I know. I that too.
Totally.
What's the motivation?
Again, there are rumors.
I love
that.
I will say.
I don't know. I don't think it actually happens. I'm just saying.
Like, imagine him and Chewie.
If we see
him and Chewie would be great. Yeah, him, Chewie, Black Chrysanthemum. Yeah, absolutely.
Chewie and Maz. Chewie and Maz.
If Grogu is there, he's with Luke. If Han is there, he's with Chewie. Like these are two.
Ben Solo is going to be there too.
And Han is
that.
And Han's connection to be Kira.
I would love that, but I don't think so.
Interfering, maybe Han's there, doing something related to
my mind.
Finding out about Kira.
Unrelated.
Yeah, there's so many possibilities.
Like I said, I think this episode has. I think this episode will blow our minds. Like,
I'm telling you, it will explain. It will explain to me. If I'm the director, I keep saying this, and I try to defend the creatives as much as I can. If I'm the director, any of the creatives who've been hyping the show up, and I'm looking at this like cool build-up of Boba, and then episodes 5, 6, and 7, and how we think they're playing out, and what we just got, it seems like it's going pretty like in that direction. I'm looking at this content that when I'm talking to the media, I'm going, man, I can't hype this thing up enough. Like it's crazy. Like you can't wait.
Wen said,
we're talking
wait for the end.
Yeah, and she was like,
everyone
dude,
could have
like it will
Mando,
explain.
Din, Luke Skywalker, Han Solo,
Like,
Chewbacca,
look, think of-
Cad
exactly.
Bane,
Yeah.
Boss,
And just the
like
fact,
in one
and
episode.
Robert Rodriguez said,
Yeah.
I couldn't believe the things I got to play with.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It is
That's what I'm
totally
saying.
like it
Yeah.
would explain why he hyped that up so much. If he
Yeah.
does, if they got to do these things.
Admittedly, so far, like
Oh my God, Boba
I
still has to
don't think
ride
it's
the
exactly
Rancor.
lived up to
Yeah.
that.
Yes.
No.
Yeah. We were
It
going
has
to get
not lived
that.
up to how much.
I
he
think
got.
with all this setup now, and like
Yeah.
especially Dave coming in, especially on this
Mhm.
huge episode, like
Yeah.
Do we think that Bob is going to be riding the Rancor next week? We think that's
Yes.
a prelude.
Seven.
No,
Yeah,
I think
check-
it's seven.
I don't
That's
think- it
a
doesn't
finale.
feel like-
That-
You think
that's a
seven?
finale. That's a
You
finale.
think it's a finale?
Seven.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
absolutely.
I'm almost tempted that.
They don't have time next episode.
there's
Yeah.
gonna be a big raid in Mos Espa, and friggin' Boba is going to
He's
be
gonna
riding
ride
the
in
Rancor
on the
through the
Rancor.
streets.
Yeah.
And people are, and
It's
people who are
already
now,
done. It's
and
already
people who are
done.
now are
It's already
complaining that
done.
Boba hasn't done enough cool stuff when he's
He's
riding through
about
the
it.
streets of Mos Espa.
He's about
I
it.
asked people
On a
back
Rancor.
on a Rancor.
It's
Even
gonna
if
be
Boba
so
has
cool.
the coolest
Oh, yeah.
next
We
two
don't even-
episodes,
Yeah.
I still feel like even up to this
Yeah.
point, it hasn't been enough. Regardless of what we
I
get. But
do agree with Boba. Yeah, I still feel that Boba and Fennec are still being underused in their own series to the level that we would want
That's
to
fair.
see them at.
Well-
And yeah, but that's the only negative I can really put forward.
I don't
is-
know. I really
is
like
would
episode 4. Every time I rewatch it, chapter
I
4,
just-
I like it more and more.
Oh, everything's good. It's just a
Chapter 4
matter
is
of.
banger.
I just feel like that they have been doing a lot of talking in every episode and negotiations,
Yeah.
and it does feel a little bit like episode 2, Attack of the Clones. There's a lot of dialogue, a lot of talk, but there has to be to establish their
Is that
situation.
the headline?
I do.
Book
do
of Boba
think-
Fett, the Attack of the Clones.
Episode
is
2,
a
the Attack of the
I do
Mandalorian.
If I
Clones.
created a movie or a
Yes.
show and someone
Yeah.
said the dialogues
Yeah.
like Attack of the Clones, I would be very upset.
I do think. I
No,
do
no, no.
think
But I'm saying
totally-
there's a lot of dialogue
I
and
totally
talk,
see what you mean.
but it has
Totally
to be
and-
there to establish things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think tonally and content wise, I think like from this episode, like
Yep.
now it's gonna be like that for the
Like, well,
remaining 2 episodes.
let's think back to
I
like
think even more.
2019.
I think even
Yeah.
down to 11.
Here he is.
The idea.
Hey,
Hold
AJ,
on,
how's it
special
going?
guest,
What's going
closer
on?
of the stream as we begin to wrap up.
Bring in the
AJ,
closer.
we
AJ.
interrupt.
Here.
We pause. You're currently your production. AJ, what are your thoughts?
Close as a 10 out of 10 for a Star Wars project as you can get, but
Like it.
we've all talked about this a bit.
We've talked about it.
Very odd.
Yeah.
Very odd that it
With
was so separate.
Seems to
I mean,
be
maybe by the end of the show it'll have a different feel. I was just texting my other.
talking.
I was just
We've been
texting.
talking
think
about
this is. I think it feels connected right now. I don't think we'll be saying that next week. I don't think we'll be saying that
Well,
next week.
Yeah,
You think
Levi
we
eased
won't?
my mind a lot.
You think
by
we
We
won't
will
feel
not
it's
be
disconnected?
saying.
By-
We will not be
by-
saying how
pointing
dissonance
out
felt next week.
The Book of Boba was supposed to be a 6-episode show, just like
Yeah.
Kenobi, a 6-episode character study,
Yep.
and then whatever the execs or whatever are like, you know what, we need a Mando in there to hold people
Hey,
over.
Bryce, you want to
Yep.
make a
So
man?
why don't we just throw in a Boba episode? That's why it's 7. Not like it does make sense.
Seven's a
Looking
weird
at it
number
like that,
for a show.
it
Seven
makes
No
is
sense.
show.
just
No
a
show
number.
sets.
Yeah.
No show sets
show
out
is
to be
setting
an
up to
odd
set.
number of episodes.
So
Yeah.
No.
that
And
makes sense.
It's
to
literally
me.
odd. Yeah. It's
So
I-
AJ, another
One
question.
set, but
AJ, another question.
Yeah.
So as we were just talking when you came in, Luke Skywalker next week.
That's another thing. Like, I think we texted about this too. Like, it'll be weird if they go to Grogu and Luke wherever, but it'd also be weird if they don't show that because Mando's
Yeah.
clearly
Right.
going there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Think about this, AJ.
I
Think
think
about
they
this.
couldn't.
Listen to my pitch.
Is it
Boba.
what you-
Boba needs muscle.
yeah.
What if?
True.
What if he goes in person? Because he's not about the litter. He walks on his own 2 feet. He goes to
He's
talk
direct.
to Maz Kanata. Maz Kanata on Takadana, where
Yeah, connections.
Luke and Grogu are hanging out at that temple, that High Republic temple.
With
That's
Han.
right there with Han.
there might be there
And
could
Chewie.
be
And
some other peeps
That's
there
a
as
lot
well.
of muscle.
And then
they
next
use
week,
AJ
AJ's
Yeah.
Minecraft
Yeah.
model
Could
as
be
the
could be some
the,
Trandoshan.
volume.
It could be a
Darth
little.
Maul
Quick,
back
quick
from the
throw-
dead,
quick-
hanging out.
Can we throw Leia in the New Republic in there? Just to know it?
Could this guy be there? As
Too
a
young.
little.
He's too
as
young.
a
Yeah, we
Obi-Wan?
were already
I-
talking about it.
No, but how many years has it been since Mando
it
season
hasn't.
2?
It's not been long enough. I don't think.
I don't think so.
Maybe-
Because
I think
Ben,
I would love.
almost
I would
there.
love. I would
Is,
love
is he
it.
existent though? If Han's there, he could be with Han.
Yeah, he could just be with Han.
Exactly.
He
Could
could just
be
be with
with
Han.
Han.
Well,
Yeah.
how old would he
But
be?
do you think Han
He's
would
like
bring him
6.
to a
He'd be
Do
like
we
a
know
bar?
when he went over to Luke for training?
10.
Like,
10.
Yeah.
Do you,
So
do
he
you
feels
think,
too
do you
late.
think
No wonder
Han
he
would
went
bring
to
bring him to a bar though?
Yeah, he
Leia
absolutely would.
I don't know. I question it, but
Mm.
anyways,
Yeah.
I would that would be cool too. But
Yeah.
again, I think where Grogu is, Luke is, and where
Mhm.
Han is, Chewie is. That's all
Yes.
I'm gonna say.
Yeah, agreed.
Yep.
AJ,
Yep.
favorite part of the episode?
Oof. I
And you
mean,
with the-
I'm
It's
a
so
sucker for the N1 starfighter, but I mean,
Mhm.
I think the
Yeah.
meatpacking plant off the
Great.
bat, it
Yeah.
felt very like
I think that was my
Daredevil-ish,
favorite
right?
scene.
Yeah,
The best
Yeah.
part
Levi-
of it, man.
Very
Levi was like,
Daredevil.
yeah, we're
yeah.
getting Mando right off the bat. And I
Absolutely.
was like, no shot, no chance, you wacky madman. I would
Yeah,
have
we
put so
thought the
much
same
money
thing about
on it.
Ahsoka and the Jedi, though.
Yep.
Yeah.
We all thought he was gonna be like showing up at
Very
the
similar.
end. It's
Yeah.
just like
Right.
Is that a
maybe
Saul
that's just the
Goodman
best way to
bobblehead?
do it.
It is.
Yeah, no, it's actually just Bob
Nice.
Odenkirk.
Oh, okay,
Bob
just
Odenkirk.
a Bob.
I mean, well,
Just Bob.
I can't express enough.
Wait,
I
show
can't.
show the Bale as well. They are completely
Oh,
different
yeah, I
products,
forgot we
but they
have-
look
we have
exactly
Bale.
the same. Like they're in the same like line.
His
funny.
They are like
Look at that.
for some reason he has a
McDonald's,
Yoda
looks like
For some
No,
reason
yeah,
he has a Yoda
it's a
flashlight
Burger
on the
King
bottom.
toy.
Like it's
that
so
was a
strange.
Secret Santa gift for.
Burger King
Funny.
Bail Organa.
Just a gift.
What a
Yeah.
weird. All right,
No,
Brent, you were saying
that's right.
something.
I was going to say,
Right.
yeah. I can't express enough. Bryce Dallas Howard's direction on this episode
Yeah.
was
Killed it.
absolutely
Oh yeah.
as good as you could get. It was
I
incredible.
hope you guys have been talking about that.
really-
She needs
Oh,
a movie.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we
I
were
agree.
saying that for sure. Just
I think we all
again,
agree
We're on
with
the
that.
we're on the Bryce hype train.
Her and her
Absolutely.
dad need to like.
Absolutely, yeah.
Ron needs
Solo
to.
too.
Yeah, Ron
Yeah.
needs to EP and she needs to direct like a
Yeah.
solo thing.
Swoop
Yeah.
City.
Totally.
Group
That
City.
would
yeah.
be cool.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we've been going for an hour and 20 minutes here. AJ did say he don't worry. AJ doesn't feel slighted because he said he'd be the closer right before. He said he knew what he was doing.
I'm glad
He
I
knew
made it.
That's
I'm glad I
cool.
made
Yeah,
it.
he knew what he was
You
doing
made
as
it.
soon as. So
You made
I mean, yeah, guys, we went for a while today. Unfortunately, we had a lot of people, so we couldn't bring people on. I don't think we just don't have the layout, unfortunately. But also, it's just this was
There's
such
a
a,
lot to
It would
talk
have been a
about.
lot of the
it
same
was just such a
thing.
dense
I-
episode.
I
Yeah.
think it would
I
have been
can.
a lot of-
I will say next week. Absolutely.
We got to bring
Mhm.
people.
We
No,
need
I think
people
This
on.
episode was
Oh, yeah.
weird because we're all like not arguing, but just like discussing like how
Everyone
good
loves
it
it,
is in
yeah.
the echo chamber. But it's more the discussion is like, does it fit?
I'm
Right.
glad we're
Like,
all on the
no
same
one is,
page.
like,
I
saying,
think.
"Fuck
I
you."
think our mind. I think it's gonna be much different next
No,
week.
you can't judge a show 5 out
Yeah.
of 7.
No,
so
no.
Right.
Correct. No, exactly. Yeah.
Uh,
Woo!
I'm
Lots to
enjoying
look
it.
forward to. That's
Yeah.
what we'll say. I think.
Oh,
Lots to look forward to. All right, who wants to outro
Yeah.
us?
Well, I was gonna say, AJ, where can
Yeah.
they find you?
Give it
You
a-
can find us at HoloNet Marauder on Twitter, HoloNet Marauders on YouTube. Come check us out. Good time.
Yeah, we just did a
Brent?
podcast with them. and it was
Yeah, that
wonderful.
was
Very
a
funny
blast.
podcast.
Yeah, it was
But,
cool. Very funny,
that was
guys.
fun.
Johnny
this
Johnny
year.
predicts the chromed out N1 Starfighter.
Yes, sir.
I mean,
you
it's just
go over
it's
there.
logical,
Good-
but
good
anyways. But
prediction.
No,
yeah,
that's not a crazy prediction. I think we all
Yeah.
saw that coming.
I think
Yeah,
it is.
yeah.
I think so as well.
Bug
But
demands
Brent-
an anvil.
Yep.
Brent,
The
you
end
wanna-
wheel is
Catch me,
gone.
Brent Age of Grogu. We're on YouTube every Sunday, 1 o'clock. We do a live stream, and we'll be talking obviously about this episode this coming Sunday. And then yeah, I mean, I'm on same thing, Age of Grogu on Instagram and everywhere else.
I'm excited for the model series. It's gonna be.
Yeah, I'm going to
Sweet.
start doing that
Very
as soon as I started recording my first thought process today. So
He's
It'll
he's
take
building
some-
the Naboo Starfighter, AJ. He's gonna build
Oh
it
yeah,
for a Hot
you
Toys
you
Scout.
messaged me about that, I think, right?
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Gibbs,
That's
got anything to
exciting.
plug? Bad Batch
You-
Watcher.
You can
know.
find me right on this channel here.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
That's where I'll be
Cool.
for
Your
a
reactions,
moment next
Dave.
week.
That's right.
Yes.
If you want more gifts,
right.
that's where you're gonna
And
get
you can
'em.
find Saul Goodman on Better Call Saul.
Season 6
Oh, yeah.
coming
That's right.
hopefully.
Can't
in the
wait
next
for the new
few months
season, yeah.
because they
And-
haven't
and-
announced it yet, and I'm starting to get stressed about it because it's been a while.
Well, he did, have the
Solid
heart,
mystery.
he did have the heart attack in between there too, didn't he? So
He did.
Yep, he's
they-
back
they
in
put a
the
pause.
filming,
But
so-
Bob
Yeah.
Odenkirk is okay, everyone.
We
Yeah.
love Bob
And
Odenkirk.
thank you for watching. Bob Odenkirk. All right. Bye, everybody.